ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to EU Sports Week. I'm Matt, I'm going to be one of your hosts for today, and we are going to show you some intense League of Legends action between three different universities. I'm here today joined by my co-host Max. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great today. As you may be able to see, this is EU Sports Week, but this is not your traditional sport. We are playing League of Legends, which is an esport for those of you who do not know. Played using computers and is really more like chess than a traditional sport.
Yeah, so for today we've got a three uni setup. So we've got Staffs University who are participating with two teams, and we have Charles University who will be participating with one team, and a Kajani University who participates with another team.
Yeah. We were also going to have a university from Ukraine attending, but unfortunately, due to the current situation, they're not going to be able to join us. But we will hear from them later in the stream.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to actually see that they've still participated and showing us a little bit about what they're like, how they why they couldn't participate, that kind of sort of thing. So with our tournament format today, we've got three games and then a fourth game, which is going to be our finals in case of a tiebreaker. So for the first two games of today that will be streaming on our channel will be Charles University versus our red team. On the other side, where Kiani are going to be streaming their games, we've got Kiani versus Staffs Uni Blue. The second game for today will be our red team and blue team, which will be streaming on this channel, and then Kiani will be streaming their game versus Charles. And then our final game will be streaming here today. That isn't the finals, will be Charles versus Blue.
Yeah, and once again, Kiani streaming their own game. So if we get to see them on the stream, it will be in that final.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for all these games. They're going to be intense. I'm very looking forward to our blue versus red team because that's a bit of, I want to say, a bit of rivalry between our campus and some of London.
Yeah, yeah. Something to mention there. It is red is for the Stoke campus, blue is for the London campus. But there has been a little bit of a transfer going over. We've got a Stoke player on blue, and we have a London player on red. So there's a little bit of intermingling as well as that rivalry, because this is more about connections and friendship than proper rivalries.
Yeah, between Staffs Uni and Kiana Uni, we're all mostly esports related, but we've got a uni in Prague which are more traditional sports orientated. So kind of finding the gap to bridge the two sporting genres together.
Yeah, our collaboration with Charles University actually started earlier this year. I was part of the cohort from Staffordshire who went over, visited. They got us to do a load of sports tests to see how esports people can can perform in traditional sports exercises. Of course, we didn't do quite as well as them, but it was a good fun time, and we did also get to play a little bit of esports. So we got to show off our skill set just a little bit.
That's pretty good going over to Prague. Yeah. So with our games today, as we are only streaming half the games, Finland will be streaming their own games. So we'll be streaming our three and then their three, and then if we meet in the middle in the finals, where we could see Kayana University and maybe any one of the teams that we've streamed today, they'll be fighting each other at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see who does make it to the top of the table. Um, so who do you think is going to be one of the most pivotal players today in getting their teams to the top?
Ooh. If we're looking at Stoke side, we've got obviously strong players on red. We have strong solo laners. Unsure about blue myself. I've heard that some of them are very strong indeed. High ranking elo players. I know that with Finland, we're quite unknown within this event. Could be dark horses. We don't, as they've had to transfer accounts, obviously. We don't know how they'll participate, if they're up to. I've heard they're up to standard, definitely, but we'll see how it is. But with Prague University, I think they'll be a contender too.
Yeah, there's not really going to be a weak team, I don't think. Even if there's not the most equal matches, I think every team's got their own strong points.
Yeah, there'll definitely be players which will definitely shine within this tournament. Those probably who have played more together. So teams, I've heard that Finland have played definitely a lot more games together compared to our staff's uni. So I'd like to see how their cohesion and their team performance is better, like how it is compared to ours.
Yeah, definitely. Our teams, of course, because they are cross-campus teams, they're not going to have as much time training together as the Finnish team and as the Czech team. I've heard a lot about how well synergized the Czech team is, just how much cohesion they have. They play together so much. So Even if some of their ranks aren't quite as high as the rest of the teams, I think in competitive play they might be a bit more dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we'll see who will outshine. But before we actually go into game with our casters, we have predictions to show you that were secretly filmed behind our backs.
Listen, guys.
Yeah. How about we warm down, cool down a bit with a bit of rock, paper, scissors? I'm thinking best of three predictions.
Yeah.
Okay. Charles University, Staffs University.
Yeah.
Let's throw down.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to go on shoot. Makes it easy. Okay. Right. You ready?
I am.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Right-hander or a left-hander? Yeah, I'm a right-hander. Right-hander. All right.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, this low, my bad.
Still take the point. That's fair.
Yeah.
He can have it.
Thank you. It's looking good for Charles University.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. There we go, even up.
Oh my.
Let's go.
You
Staffs.
pulled it back. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Final round, final bout. How are we feeling?
Switching it up.
I'm a bit nervous. Oh, you changing?
Strat's coming out
Oh, I
now.
think I'm gonna stick with mine.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Tied up.
Double rock. You got something else up your sleeve?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's see.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Who takes it? Let's go!
Drat.
Let's go.
Some lovely, insightful predictions there.
Yeah, a bit of chance, but we got to show off our casters. Taking their predictions on the game for the first game between Prague and Red, because that is Charles University versus our Staffs Red. That is going to be the first game that we're streaming today. That will be happening in a little bit when we're ready to go in game. But how are you feeling? Who do you think will win, or who do you think will shine better, throughout the game's performance for the first game?
I'm looking at the Czech team here from Charles University, mainly looking at their jungle Stepan.
Oh.
There's some rumours about him, and maybe a little bit of a Nunu that's a bit of a menace on some teams that have shown up
Ooh.
before. I think a lot of play around him is going to be very important.
So jungle Ontario, that's nice to hear. I've heard from Red, Staffs Red, that they've got two very dominant, very solo lane dominant. So I want to see how both of them, will participate. But we are going to throw you over to our casters now, who will slowly go into game and draft pick for you.
Hello, and I'm Charles, and I'm joined wonderfully by my co-caster here, Cole.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's going to be a great matches we've got today, and just see what's going to happen.
Definitely. You excited, Cole?
Yeah, as saying, it's just going to be good to see all talent as we move into the draft here.
Yeah.
We've got obviously Charles University on the blue side, Staffs on red side with the red team, funny enough.
Well, that was very well played by our production on that point. But yeah, into draft we go.
Yeah, just waiting for first bans and picks. I mean, we'd just think about what we want to see from these teams and what we might see as well.
Mhm.
I definitely think both teams have a very good chance of winning this game. It's also dependent very much on draft, as it is this best of one that we're using as a format.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we had a few interesting picks given by our hosts over here and analysts on the desk. So it'll be interesting to see if some of those come out. I'm hoping for something a little bit more meta. We've seen stuff from the other leagues, such as the LEC and stuff like that have been playing stuff like Jarvan in the jungle, stuff like that. I'd love to see, but of course we have that Nunu player, so that even could come through, or maybe we'll see it on the bans.
I mean, we've also talked about it before a little bit in the fact that he's a little bit more of a facilitator player,
He is
so he can also play this Viego. We've heard a lot about as well.
definitely.
It's also dependent on bans as well, because even though the chance of Sejuani and we're also could be Viego as well. So yeah, what are your thoughts maybe on what the Staffs team could bring?
Well, the Staffs team, I think they haven't been playing together too much, like we again stated earlier, but they are quite solo queue players. So it'll be interesting to see where we
Yeah.
go. Here,
So,
here is the lineup. Yeah.
Here we are. We have Max in the top lane, Leonardo in the jungle, with Lara in the mid lane, and Paul as ADC, with Victoria coming in there at support.
Yeah, she is from the London campus, of course. So it's going to be a little bit of some interesting styles here. We have our two teams. So yeah, going to be an interesting one, I think.
Definitely going to be very interesting, especially with some of the niche picks that we have on this red team. I'm definitely going to see, possibly, depending on bans, the Twitch come out from Paul as well as one of his favourites in the bot lane.
If they do, I think we'll definitely see that Yuumi pick.
Yeah.
Because we know Victoria is a pretty big Yuumi player. Definitely one of the higher ranking players on that team as well. So a Twitch Yuumi bot lane, that's a power couple.
Exactly. It's the joke Tom and Jerry, isn't it?
The cat and the mouse.
The cat and the mouse. They're coming for you. A little bit of a sneak as well. You don't know where they're about as we pick up on the Charles University team.
Yeah, here they are. Philip is in the top lane. That is Stefan in the jungle. Martin will take the mid lane for today. Vladimir down bot. And Andrea is in our support role.
Yep. I think, again, a very strong team, like we've been saying. We're not 100% sure on all of their rankings, but we know that we've got a very high-tier jungler on this team.
Yeah, definitely. It's someone that was talked about a little bit going into this. So it's whether he can really pull that team around him, and if he can, like we could see a solo pop-off performance, or we could see him really facilitate that team and lead it to glory.
For sure, and also the fact that even though he does have this Sejuani, Viego, and Nunu, he has the special pocket pick. But also, there's a lot of meta that goes alongside those champions as well.
Definitely.
Sejuani and Poppy very close in proximity. Trundle as well, being that tank role that they both bring to the team.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But both teams were kind of going to be focusing on this jungle role, I think. Because, like we said, on Charles University, that is where their big player is, their big star in this game. But we can also look at the other roles. Maybe they can fit in here and really pull out some pop-off performances.
Yeah, and I mean, like you've been saying with the meta in top lane, carries are prominent right now with Fiora and Aatrox. Definitely can 1v9 most games.
Definitely.
And it also obviously depends on its counter pick, if it is, because Staffs is on red side. Normally that real counter pick goes towards the top lane, depending on also your strength in other roles, which we like to think is hopefully all over in this team.
Yeah, definitely.
So we can talk about the 1v1 in this jungle. So Leo and Stefan.
Yeah, definitely.
It's obviously where a lot of it's going to go and what a lot of the pressure will come from. As we have a VT of 1v1 between us.
Oh, great. Yeah, off we...
What we're saying? Oh, I can't buy one of them. Oh, that means I'll just have to buy one of them. Easy.
Easy?
I mean, it might be easy. We'll see.
Yeah, sure. I'm listening, Cole. Keep chatting.
Come on.
Oh, you're playing Pantheon. I didn't even see.
Yes.
You don't get your little poor Professor had to distract you this time either.
Oh, true. No chance it's going to stop my cues from hitting you.
Sure thing. I'm listening. So, have you actually got any mastery on Pantheon?
No.
Oh.
I have played him, so.
Oh, okay. So it's something you've played.
Yeah.
Cool. First minion though. I've got it.
I need equal. Let's go.
You've gone in. Yeah? You wanna duel with the bear?
A bear?
A bear. The volley bear. An ancient
Oh.
demigod. There we are. And I'm gonna take your little Healy thing.
I'm gonna get some too, don't you worry.
Yeah, come on. Oh crap. That was
Yeah,
really
go
loud.
on. Oh, go on.
No.
Oh, look at that. I think it's smart play on the old.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well played, well played. It was that turret dive.
They
I
were.
wasn't even
Well, they're better than mine, so.
Your choice of starting item though.
Oh, do you want to go?
I went Guardian's Hammer last time, so if you want to play that, I can do that.
Yeah, we go Guardian's Hammer and
Whatever the
whatever the
dagger-
preset is on the right, yeah?
Yeah, I got dagger and potion.
Yeah, same.
Wonderful.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yahoo!
Just Mario noises intensifies. Nice. What's that?
That was Toad.
How was it?
Oh,
you hit the first
oh.
one.
Oh, the shield's gone.
It is, it is.
Oh,
you
that
missed
was.
that one, though.
No. You're not hitting one until I get adjust to another one.
Yeah?
That did.
Well, wait for these minions.
He dodged it. He's so good.
It's all it's concentration now.
Oh, I thought I hit it.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, where are you going? So good.
Yeah, like a bit of that. I took your healing thing again.
Yeah, but this time again I was in it, so it's fine.
Mate, I feel tense. Oh, I gotta win this one. There we are, that was nice. No, yeah.
That's the trade you wanted.
Yeah, that was a good one. I got ya.
Oh no, no, not happening. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm so dead. I thought I pressed that.
Alright.
That I can't afford that if I do that. Oh well, we'll have to do this. No.
I'm gonna go that. I'm worried what. I don't think I've got good stuff, but we've got it.
I'm just really aggro.
Oh.
No shield, baby. Let's go. I was gonna say free auto attack as well,
No.
but no, it's not giving it to me. Ooh.
Yeah, nice shot.
To be fair, I need to be careful. My mana is not good.
Yeah. What have you bought? Oh, you bought a Dirk. Alright.
Yeah.
This isn't
Oh
looking
my
good
god.
for me.
Okay.
I might try and play a long game then. Maybe if we farm better than you.
Maybe. You are gonna farm better than me because I suck at farming.
Yeah, so maybe we're just playing for that sort of victory.
That's not what I wanted.
Oh.
No! Yeah! No. And there you go. They have it. I'm obviously the better player because, random helped me out there. Well, what did you think of that?
I thought that was absolute rubbish. I got handed Rakan and I got put into Jace, which I don't think is at all fair.
Well, I just think I won, so I'm obviously the better player. It just happens.
Well, so you're just going to take the victory. I don't even get the moral victory here.
Well, you can have it if you want. But,
well, it's obviously not the win I wanted, but yeah, sure,
Yep.
all right.
as I think we're getting ever much closer to draft.
I know. I'm
yeah.
very excited.
So we've talked a little bit about the junglers.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about some of the picks we might see from Staffordshire on the bot side.
Mm-hmm.
Any on the top side that you think are a little bit more prevalent?
I'm rather interested in seeing some of the more tankier picks on this top side. Definitely if we're getting stuff like the Aatrox and a Bruiser coming out for Staff's Red, which we thought. I think maybe we could answer with something like the Ornn. It's very good for team fighting. It's not bad into Aatrox. Aatrox, like we said, is a very, very good blind pick, and I think he could become massive here. But we'll have to see with this draft, and I think I'm really hoping for that Ornn.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also like red side, blue side bans. It's something we may see in this game. We may see that Kalista. It's a very strong prevalent pick that I know Paul on occasion likes to play.
You
I'm
reckon?
not sure fully about the Czech side, but yeah.
Yeah, bans in meta these days. Kalista is very is one of those more prominent ones, but she's often in those very, very high tiers of pro play. Like we said, again, referring back to stuff like the LEC and stuff, she's always banned there, probably even going to be banned at Worlds. But yeah, as for today, I think she might survive.
Yeah.
A big one I'm also looking for, talking about that bot side, is the Misfortune.
Yeah.
Champ is busted
Very
beyond
much
belief.
so, especially when you can go either the crit and have that very high AD scaling damage, but also the chance to play the AP side. I mean, the good damage spread of that slow and obviously spread over time.
Yeah.
But still does that damage enough that when he is used, it's a good slow. It then preps for the ult that might come in, and the extra damage you could get off a double bounce Q.
Well, we all know the bullet time, as it is known in the game, is an absolutely massive team fighting ult, and especially depending on what they pick in other roles, could be massive. Like we were commenting on those the jungle matchup earlier, if they pick a Jarvan, you've got combos there. MF, Jarvan, you can even pick a Seraphine in there. We could see some control mage mid. There is all sorts on the table, Cole. And I for one, can't wait to see it all come off.
Yeah, I just ecstatic about stuff that could come into this draft. And, the bans that could come out like, well, maybe alluding to later today when there's possibly a very good ASOL.
Very good ASOL indeed. Control mage player in that mid, but yeah, it's going to be exciting to see. I think that, like we were commenting, I said back to that Seraphine flex picks.
For sure.
This is what she offers. She can play mid. She can play support. You've got stuff like the Sejuani, which you were talking about.
As we have draft coming in.
Oh, brilliant. And you can already see Charles University taking off the Lilia and that Yumi.
Yep, with Staffs taking out that Vladimir, obviously a carry top laner that we don't want, well, the Staffs red team don't want to see come up against.
Definitely.
With the Lucian also coming in here.
And the Twitch. But I was going to comment on that Vladimir ban. If you remember correctly, one of the Charles University players is called Vladimir.
Yeah.
So, if it's a very...
It's either a very, very, proper call-out.
Yeah, banning his namesake.
Yeah.
As well, as we see Lucian taken off as well. An interesting one.
I think, as well, it's very interesting to see both Tom and Jerry taken out here. We also see the Azir for the mid lane. Again, very strong pick in the meta right now. It's very easily blindable as our first pick comes in from the Lulu.
Yeah, the little Yordle herself is coming in. Did take some nerfs last patch, but still a very strong enchanter. And we know that the meta surrounding the bot lane is a little bit Enchanter focused right now.
For sure.
And I am expecting maybe we could see the Zeri paired up with it.
Mhm.
Big pick here. And that is my girl. Come
Yeah,
on.
Misfortune. It's a very strong blind pick with Lucian gone. I mean, there's obviously maybe a few extra champs you'd like to see gone here. The chance to counter with Caitlyn, because Morgana being a very immobile champion. As we see the hover of the supporting Karma.
Yeah, another Enchanter, but in my opinion, she offers a lot more poke than Lulu does. So if they do go for this bot lane, you've got the Make It Rain by Misfortune, the E, and then you've got the Q mantras coming in from Karma. Absolutely could blast away this bot lane. Staffordshire got this very strong pick here.
It's a very strong duo with the range, obviously. Little surprising to see the Lucian ban there, as the range on a Lucian not so long. It's very obviously hard to push into that bot lane.
Yeah.
As we see a Shen hover, maybe not the primary top laner right now, but very good for sure. It's been picked and locked in as we get into Charles's third pick.
Yeah, the thing that I like about the Shen, offers map support worldwide, like over the entire map.
Yep.
That Stand United comes down from the top lane. The Ninja is coming in, taking out your bot lane.
He's
mid
taunting
lane.
you. He's just basically just there to taunt, especially with. Well, we'll see what comes out with the rest of the team as Severe is picked into this Misfortune.
Very nice pick. Cole.
One of the other ADCs I was going to mention is very good at taking away the slow with her Black Shield and also any extra damage from an Ignite, possibly with Karma. As we get into the final pick for Red side.
Yeah, I'd quite interested to see. Maybe you can blind pick a top here. Well, not blind pick. We reckon that Shen will go in the top lane. So it'll be the counter pick coming in with the Renekton. It's an interesting one because I don't think that matchup's amazing.
No, I have to tend to agree. I think Shen has the first few levels there.
Yeah, definitely.
For any sort of, 1v1 fisticuffs.
Yeah, but Renekton is a very strong early game champion, and it'll be interesting to see whether the Shen opts for Ignite and the Renekton opts for Ignite, because we could definitely see a very bloodthirsty top lane if they both opt for that. But with Shen, you also have the his Kai Barrier, which is his passive, which is really good for trading. You have his W, which will block everything, the Twilight Assault, and it'll do some work there. And what it does is it's really good against Renekton, because it can block his W, which is the stun.
Yeah.
So the trade-in coming in there from Shen, in my opinion, is superior.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of red side bans on the jungle. Again, we're seeing this prevalent player from Charles. Gragas taken out for the moment. We'll see if that Sejuani or Viego or even the Nunu comes out from either side. We're taking the Silas away, so they don't want that to take, well, at the minute, Renekton and MF ult. It's MF ult being very good for Silas as it scales with AP.
And Silas builds AP, so that bullet time would shred. And Cold, the Viego.
It's been taken away on the Charles side, which a little surprising.
It's an interesting one.
But I know that Leo is a very good Kane and Viego player. He tends to take those a lot in his solo queue games.
So you reckon we will see Kane picked here?
I think it's one of the possibilities. It's also dependent on the meta. I mean, they've got a reasonably tanky top laner in Renekton. I have seen an Udyr come out, and we see for the first time the rework come out in a game.
Yeah, new deer coming through. The demigod himself, sort of the spirit walker, as he's called. But yeah, he's a very, very strong pick right now, Cole, in my opinion. Offers good AD and AP damage. I think he will opt for a Sunfire into Demonic Embrace build right now, which is very common. But I thought they needed some AP, so I was a bit scared of that Kane lock-in.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Victor.
Well, a very good control mage in this middle lane. We're obviously seeing now Olaf into that. I think it's a very good pick into this Udyr. Loves a good fight.
He definitely does.
And with the changes he's had recently with the shield and the R, automatic regeneration with auto attacks. It's going to be a very volatile matchup for this Volibear. And as we see, a possible Orianna for a counter pick on Staff's red.
Yeah, you don't want to fight the Viking is pretty much what you're saying, Cole, right there.
Basically.
I'm hoping... I don't know. They haven't got the only ball delivery system with an Oriana here is a Renekton, which isn't the greatest. He does have the slash and dash to go in, but I'd have preferred to see something a little bit different.
It also nicely there with the slash and dash procking the armor shred. So if MF does go for this AD matchup, this items pick, we'll see that come through with a lot more damage and a lot more ferocity there in the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm very excited to see these picks actually play on the Rift. We do look at the Orianna last pick. It's an interesting one. You've given your counter pick to the mid laner here, and so in my opinion, that signifies that you really want to give them the best matchup possible, and you might actually look to play around them a little bit, because they ended up. Charles University actually were the ones to blind pick top, which was a very interesting one. They didn't actually, I don't believe they ended up with a counter in any roles except for really AD, which, I
mean, to be fair, we say that, but I think MF really strong at the minute, both with this Severe. There is obviously a little bit of kit diversity for the Severe to be able to stop any major problems coming out from the MF, but I still think both can have a good chance to take over the game, especially with both Lulu and Karma. It's very easy to help your ADC, strike out on kills.
Definitely.
As such.
What I do really like about their comp is I do like how much safety that Siv's got. Like, she's got a Shen. She's got the Stand United. The man comes down, comes right in, and that's Sivir. Spell Shield, Stand United. She's got Wild Growth from Lulu. Do you want to be any more protected as a Sivir?
And I even think that when we're fighting over these Drakes, because we think that the bot lane is going to be the main focus, the choke points where the Victor comes in to put down a lot of his damage and a lot of his CC is also going to be massive factors in these fights.
Definitely, I'd agree, and it's something that we've got to keep an eye on, because I think scaling could also come involved here, depending on how long this game goes. But Sivir scales really well. She is the epitome of a late game carry, Cole.
Definitely. I know a lot of my games, when I get the chance to play Severe, I'm at 6 items, no boots, and we're fighting over Elder for every last second.
You ever stolen an Elder, Cole?
I have stolen. I'm
a few.
Unfortunately, for those of you watching, a jungle main.
Cole.
So it is a lot easier for me.
Well, you're going to be concentrating a lot on that jungle role.
Yeah, I mean, I think I brought it up enough, so we'll obviously talk about it in game and see the matchup come into fruition, see who is going to take it.
Definitely, you might be focusing on that jungle. I'm going to be focusing on the top lane as a top lane player myself. A bit of a ranged top lane player, I'm sorry to say, but I am definitely excited. And no range has been selected in this top lane. It's a Shen versus a Renekton, but I'm still excited to see it.
No, of course. And I think with this top jungle matchup, we obviously have the Shen and the Renekton with jungle interaction having the Charles University taking the nothing from memory, but I know Staffs took Udyr.
Yeah, they did.
Olaf, sorry,
Olaf.
there we go.
The Viking, Cole, you played it yesterday.
I played it yesterday. I say it's my main, and I just can't remember. Anyway, so those 4 champs, all single target, all AD. There's a little bit more tankiness to some of them. Obviously, Olaf having that shield as well as the Shen. If it's a level 6 1v1, 2v2, and Shen's able to get onto the Olaf who's going forward, it allows Shen to push forward as well with the taunt to get the extended range off the Olaf. But it's also dependent on this Udyr and Renekton to see if Renekton can get that early start that he always likes to be able to push on through the game to shut down that ADC in back of team fights.
Yeah. It's interesting with the Renekton, because we've seen a new build recently evolve, and Renekton actually has a few different build paths.
For sure.
But I really like the new one with the Bork, like the Ruin King, into the Frostfire. Gives him good tankiness, and that Crocodile can get into the backline, slice and dice, shut down that ADC, and boom, Sivir's dead. You've got no damage.
Yeah, and I think that also allows to help Udyr come in to the back line as well. It allows him just to push forward with his Ornn-ish. Obviously, the style is the gods around Froyord. taking those horns, being unstoppable in that second variation of his E, allowing him to get through with the extra speed to get to the backline, stun up, and him and Renekton can just go to town.
Yeah, the Udyr is a little bit of an interesting pick. Like I said, I do prefer Staff's red draft here. I don't know about you. I just think because with the Charles University draft, your main AP source is this Victor, and if it gets put behind, I know you've got that late game Sivir, but it could be over before you even get there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't want all your damage to be on one carry because it's just easy for that Renekton to continue the build path and Udyr through armor and just make her do no damage, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's what Udyr offers. He's tanky AP, and that's kind of just why I prefer that draft. But yeah, like I said again, I'm actually really hyped to see the two teams face off because it's the first time we've pretty much seen them both. I've seen some of these players play before, but it's the first time we're going to see them properly as a team compete.
Yeah, I mean, I think off your prediction, I'll go for one as well. I really like this Olaf. I think it's very slightly...
Yeah, your man.
Very off meta as well. The Sivir Lulu, again, a very tried and true ADC matchup.
Definitely.
Bot lane. And we just have to make sure that Victor's safe. And the trade patterns is only going to be health for health, trying to push the lane out. Obviously, if there is jungle interaction, it will be for kills, and then the push for dragons. I think the priority is going to go down there. And we'll just have to see how what will probably be a 1v1 in the top lane with little jungle interaction.
Yeah,
as well.
Olaf is, commenting on that draft again, Olaf is a very, he can do these strikes, which you said I think could become a very pivotal point in this game, the Drakes. Sure. I think Drake right now is very strong. Same as objectives, I think, at the moment are really good. But yeah.
As we're going into the next break.
Wonderful.
For you. Into game.
Yeah, wonderful, Cole.
Wonderful. I'm very surprised, but there you go. We're close to heading into the game.
Yeah, we're finally ready.
Yeah, we're getting there. We get to see these players finally, as we see Lulu, the Sivir in the bot lane, like we said.
Yeah, we actually get to see the skins as well, Cole.
Yeah, finally. Let's see our
I love
project.
a bit of skins.
Oh, a little bit of Project Renekton. That's what we'd like to see.
Cole, I'll tell you right now, I believe that is the ultimate Udyr skin.
I think it is. We're definitely going to be having a little fun with this. I think that's Brolaf as well, one of the skins I own. It's not my favourite. I think Pentakill, good old tunes off that drum set.
Yeah, it is the new one.
Yep, as we have Dragon Tranquility Karma as well.
Yeah, definitely. As we can actually finally take a look at the runes here.
Yep, I think it's very common mostly across the board. Yep, it's very standard for all these players. Double Summon Airy for the supportive bot lane supports. We also have the Grasp there on the Shen, looking for sharp trades.
Yeah, I am kind of upset though, Cole.
Yeah, and why is that?
Well, we've got no ignites in the top lane.
Yeah, so we're obviously just looking for farm. I mean, Renekton will try, obviously, to win this lane as best he can, and we'll see the starting pass for both junglers being red.
Interestingly, Cole, again, I'll come back. Looking at sums, we have a heal on Sivir compared to nothing really in this bot lane. Platinum Paladin and Toriable down here with the MF Karma. They won't have any of that extra healing with that heal, of course. They've actually opted for the more aggressive route of Ignite and Exhaust.
Yeah, I also think that it's really strange as well with the fact that Lulu will do generally more healing, and Karma will generally, obviously with the poke, will do a lot more shielding. Yeah, as we see a good trade coming out here from Renekton, building up that rage and also getting the demolished, the
empowered. It might be.
I'm not.
It's the empowered Q.
Yeah.
Easiest way to go about it, Cole. But yeah, we do get that early trading in the top lane, this is the problem with level 1 Shen. You do have pretty decent damage, but it's when he hits that level 2 with the taunt, of course, and just pulling that sword through, you get a lot of that that magic health damage.
Yeah.
And here he goes, actually under the tower. Kenji taking a bit of damage there from that tower, not enough. And this is the thing. This is why I wanted the ignite. You can go aggro early with this Shen into Renekton, put that Renekton behind, and that man is done in the game.
But I think the teleports here just state the fact this is going to be a dragon game. I think in general, it's
and the
just
flash actually coming in from Kenji, very aggressive.
I think that was a little bit suspect, really. I don't really know what kill pressure without the ignite he had there.
Yeah, well, this is, again, Cole, I'm telling you, Ignite, I think, would have been huge for both of these laners. But we do actually see, if you see, Olaf is now heading up towards this top lane. Kenji will have to back off.
Hovering, the ward spotted him, luckily. So, nothing there on the gank side. We also have the back coming in.
Yeah, definitely. But without that flash, Falcon is actually over here. Gulpin could be in trouble there. The stun lands. The stun also lands for Victor, though. He is going to have to flash away. And he will get out of there as we do go down to this bot lane again. Just a bit of a farming first, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really seeing any trades. Obviously, Karma is stepping forward sometimes to try and get as much coming out. But we have the Spell Thieves edges on both support sides. They are trying to poke out to get their gold. And we also see both Doran's Blades there on the ADCs as well. Luckily for the MF, I think the reason he's not taking the heal, we have Biscuits and the pot still.
Yeah. We do love a good bit of Biscuits, but they have been nerfed in recent patches. If you're a LS cultist in League, he, I believe, isn't fond of them right now.
I do take that stance as well. I'm with LS. I'm not a Biscuit fan. I'm only.
I quite like the Biscuits, although I do prefer, sometimes playing top lane, I prefer to go for a more aggressive route in terms of your runes. So you can go into, if you've gone for a sort of resolve sort of rune, you can always go Precision, which offers you a lot more, I feel, than just the Biscuits. But the Biscuits can be useful in certain lanes.
I also think then, with yourself, you're playing a lot of range top. So Biscuits are always helpful.
Yeah, they can be, but playing a range top, I'll always have the range advantage.
Very
so
true.
The precision tree could actually be the bigger call here. But mana-wise, we will see Orianna back in here. Does have that TP, but it looks like she won't have to use it because that wave is in a good spot.
It's a very good cheetah recall there. I think Olaf, maybe after taking Raptors here, might help push it out. We'll see. Obviously, vision there for Staff's red. To make sure they're okay. Chain coming out.
Yeah, you can see all that poke though, Cole. Really doing some work down here. Toribul and Platinum Paladin, that MF combined with the Karma, that's a horrible lane to play against.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. And you can already see that CS deficit coming here. Platinum Paladin sitting on that MF with that 43 CS compared to Sivir's Rodrag's 28.
Yeah. It's a massive difference, and for this early in the game, that's, Noon Quiver sometimes, or then Pickaxe for the opposite AD, and getting more AD out of that in general is just a better trade.
Yeah, going back to this top lane matchup, actually, Cole, I'd have preferred to have seen Olaf be way more aggressive up here for Kikro, because they did get Kenji's flash really early on in this game, as the bot lane is actually rotating up. Victor has no flash here. The flash through from Toribel. Shockwave lands, and I think we will see a dead Victor. They're all here, the whole gang. MF picks up first blood.
And we were saying this. It's always going to be a trade for lane priority in the mid, because both mages, very controlling, able to push out quite easily. And we just see that great roam to maybe bait for a possible dragon take, so Victor there, maybe not, as we see the replay of what happened.
Yeah, Toribel using her flash to get in there. Gulpin can't really do much more but to drop the Chaos Storm, and once you've hit the Shockwave, it's pretty much dead. And it was all due to that earlier gank, actually, coming in from Falcon.
Yeah, taking out that flash, for sure. It's definitely a massive part of that there. This then allows the priority for Red Team to take this dragon.
Yeah, and a very good rotation up from Staff's red bot lane here.
Yeah, obviously, to attack, they're realising he's not going to have his bot side, and that's where the jungler is seeing the dragon being taken, so he's going for the red invade, going to take the Krugs, and more than likely, with Kenji's positioning, going for this gank as well.
Yeah, that flash is still down, but the Dominus is available. So there is potentially a 2v1 situation on here, although Renekton does have the Ragnarok. I'd like Kenji to probably back off here, as we might actually see Tatka come up, but he is going to back.
Yeah, I mean, 61 CS, he hasn't had a back yet. I think it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, slightly unfortunate, because I would have liked to have seen them do a little bit more on this top side.
Unfortunately, it is only a longsword, so there is definitely possibility there for a gank. There's no real item disparity between the players.
Yeah, again, and as we saw Tatka come up into that top side, Falquim and the gang are down in the bot side of the map right now, taking out this bottom quadrant of the blue side jungle.
Yeah, I mean,
Get
nothing
vision.
actually being taken. I think it's just there for vision purposes, which is a little shame because, like we were saying, Takta
Took the red.
Saw that, he took his opportunity. He's now also starting on his own blue side again. So he still has that chance to take his red side. Unfortunately, he can't get the resets off, but they are looking for the Herald at this point because Leo or Fuckwim Gaming just question mark pinging there. Renekton seeing vision on this Olaf.
Yeah, and he will just slash and dash his way out of there. Kenji should be all fine. And the Herald, they should now have a bit of prio on it, you'd have thought. Shem might need to back, but he still has the TP.
Yep. He's only still got that Ruby Crystal as we see some trades coming out in the bot lane under the tower.
Yeah, I think here's actually a good time to talk about some of the CS and the lanes. A big lead, which is why we see this gold lead up here, for staffs in terms of farm. 70 on this Sivir. They've got a lead in the top side with Renekton. The only good thing for Tatka here is he does have the CS advantage on Udyr, which is odd to see, but Olaf is a little bit of can be a little bit of a power farmer sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're expecting out of the Udyr, this power farm, just to keep clearing his jungle. We obviously did see that play in the earlier part of this game for the flash of Gulpin.
Yeah.
It's a very good play as he's going in on him now. Takes out the stun field there for the Victor.
Yeah, Victor's pretty safe now. He has his flash still. And they're actually going to look. Ragnarok is dropped. Falcon could be in a little bit of danger. He's going to try run away. Kenji's coming in with the Dominus as well. Olaf has bitten off a bit too much. Here comes Shen. The Stand United comes through. That's a 1-for-1 trade. And they're looking for more. Kikro is a little bit stuck in the river now, but he will taunt out. And very well played by the side of Staffordshire and actually Charles University to get that kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fortunate there for the Stand Unite to be able to save a little bit more on that Olaf. And as we saw in that fight, the timeout of the Ragnarok as the stun comes in, it's really good hold off there for
We will
Kenji.
see the shockwave also land mid. Gulpin, my friend, you are not long for this world. And he perishes to the hands of Dragon Girl.
As we see, very low health bot lane here as Olaf coming into his own red side. It's also a very good kill there from the Orianna and Karma, which seeing a horrible roam a whole hell of a lot. I know from her KDA stats that her average kills and assists per death is about 4.
Yeah. She's done a good job on this Karma. It's an interesting one to roam on an enchanter. Some of it can be done, a lot like the Bard pick, if they ever pick Bard, is a really good roaming support champion. But yeah, the roam coming through, they also call Blue Gulpin's flash.
For sure, yeah, and this is, again, a big thing for this laner. Victor, very immobile mage, and needs that flash just to be able to get away from what will be a Renekton and Udyr on the backline.
And what did I talk about earlier, Cole? I said, that Victor gets behind, it's not looking good for Charles University.
100%. Just the item disparity as well. The fact that Orianna has boots, pen boots, and tier to the Blasting Wand and Lost Chapter, which is also on the Orianna's side.
Definitely, and we do have a Drake spawning shortly.
Yeah.
As a bit of trade comes down, and look at that poke. The Mantra Inner Flame with the Qs coming down, and as we do see a little bit of a jungle trade as well.
Oh, yeah, just the stun out there to make sure Olaf doesn't continue on having that Ragnarok, having that smite, not having the ghost, So not possibly the easiest catch-up of Olaf's life, as we did see a missed axe there at the start of the fight.
We do lose Gulpin on this top side as they went very aggressive. He was a little bit caught out of position without that flash, and this should be a free Drake.
Yeah.
Olaf is about, but I don't really think Charles University can fight this, although Shen is on the flank. Kikro coming in on this backline. There is no shockwave. A huge three-man torn into the wild growth. They are coming in.
Massive.
The Olaf in the backline coming up big for his team. To take that triple kill and the Drake, my friend.
That's just insane. And now this Olaf can really start to hurt this MF. Also, an immobile AD carry there. After this fight, taking the Drake with a 3, I think the best part about this for Red side is that Renekton's getting plates top and extending his farm lead. I mean, it's not really the trade you want with the triple kill onto an Olaf.
No, we commented earlier, Cole. Again, I'm taking us back.
Wow.
But
we're back to the future
back
here.
to the future. But we commented earlier. We said this is their player. That
100%.
jungle for Charles, damn good, my friend. That Olaf rag and rocking his way into that backside. Lulu also providing a lovely little wild growth for the man.
Yeah, I think it was an absolutely unbelievable flank there from Shen as well.
Oh, yeah.
I was very surprised about this Drake as well, with the Victor going down. The fact that Charles still wanted to try and take it.
Well, the thing is, they didn't have the shockwave. They'd used all their big abilities here onto that Victor, which at this point might have been a little bit of a mistake, Cole.
Yeah, and it's definitely evened out the items in that mid lane. Somehow, even though Victor got no assist because he's died at the start, and Oriana got the one there, it's just basically more stacks on the tier. I guess maybe Oriana might not have backed yet. She didn't survive.
No, she didn't.
So
She died
I'm
in that fight,
very
Cole.
surprised that there's not more of a difference in the items there.
A lot of it comes down to farm and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but she
for
also
sure.
has the tier stacked, which we know is a scaling item. So at least she's got that going for her. But yeah, interesting enough, there's still a 2k gold lead. Renekton is now sitting on that book, like I said he would. So that is a pretty big power spike for the Croc in the top lane.
Yeah, I was going to say my next step is to take stock.
Just look at that damage, Cole.
That's just
look at it.
He's going for it again as well.
He has the Dominus and Flash available. Kikru is gonna have to be a little bit careful here on the Shen.
Well, as I was rudely interrupted by this Renekton, as always, because it's always the Renekton in the top lane taking. Anyway, I'm rambling.
And we do actually see, again, Cole, somebody interrupt. The Ragnarok coming through on this bot side. Going to pick up one. They trade again on the top side as Renekton picks one up.
Yeah, I'm not sure that trades two, as Shen is also taken out by the Renekton.
Yeah. We had 2 kills go over to Staff's Red with only the MF falling. Platinum Paladin falls. And I'd say good trade for Staff's Red.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, taking those 2 kills. I also think it's a little bit questionable that Olaf, with this shutdown, goes in for this here. 150 gold extra for whoever gets the kill.
Yeah, it's a very good route coming through from Toriable that is basically forces the Ragnarok to be used.
Yeah.
Which would work brilliantly in their favour. And the problem with that gank, really, was the fact that it wasn't communicated entirely with the bot lane. They were still sitting at their second tower here, just dealing with that wave. So it was a little bit early, but other than that, wasn't a good trade.
Yeah, I think we agree on that one.
Yeah.
There's also something to point out now that I'll take stock check of items as we seem to be in a lull state.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we've got the Ludens coming out there for the Victor. It's the item up on the Oriana. Again, I think it's based on back timings. Oriana still, I think, needs to. We're still on the same items there. The MF taking Kraken is over on this Severe. I think the kill for First Blood was 400 gold, so the extra there with also this massive CS difference as we see Olaf going in.
Yeah, Ragnarok in Platinum Paladin hasn't got any way to get out of there. Kenji is actually TP'd down. Stand United is going to be used defensively.
I think
so.
The
Trade
TP,
TPs.
yeah, TP there. Also down on Chen, so obviously having to use the Stand Unite. Shorter cooldown than the main TP, but I think it's a reasonable trade. I think if you're
And
Renekton...
again, we're looking. The Shockwave has yet to be used. Kenji picking up one there for his team, going in for more. Falcom actually picks that one up, and beautifully done by the side of Staffs Red, rotating up to that mid lane. Charles University not really respecting the fact that they had that. Dragon Girl could be getting a little bit caught out. Shen is going to taunt in, but there could be a Shockwave available. That's a two-man from the Orianna. They will clean up. Staffs Red are looking good in this game.
That is a very, very good team fight. I think it's very close as well, because you just see there Olaf maybe getting the Kamk, which was also quite low.
Yeah, and again, Cole, they'll pick up this Herald.
Yeah. I think also something to mention with this, I know Severe now has a kill, but all of your kills being on Olaf, at points, if you're going for certain builds, if you're going for the Gore Drink and you're going for the All-In, and you want to do the Death Dance Gore Drinker, staying alive, basically, build, it's reasonably good. But the 5 kills alongside the 3 deaths, it doesn't really match up to me, to be honest.
Yeah, as we can actually see now from this replay, they try to catch Dragon Girl, but she's still got that flash. So Shen and Olaf caught in no man's land will go down. And this top side for Staffs Red is really performing right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Kenji, it's just having that massive game on the...
Oh, Victor! My man, coming in, stealing that Drake with the E, and Shen will get out of there as well. Very well played there. Now, Charles University actually sitting at 2 Drakes now.
Yeah, and I mean, that just allows them to sit back a little bit more and take their farm, make sure they're getting items ready for the next team fight. Yeah, I think it's just really well-class and played there from the Victor.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it coming. I think it was stolen with the laser, of all things. Does a lot of damage, even for a 0-4 Victor.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has that Ludens and the pen boots, so Udyr maybe getting caught out.
Yeah, they are going to look for him. Rocking in again. Falcom should be able to get out. He does have the phase rush. The Orianna also providing a little bit of speed for him, but he does go down. That Viking is too fast, and he will run him down. Toriabol is now getting run down herself. Shen is coming in with Stand United. That's a double kill for Olaf. They're looking for even more. Nice little taunt. The bullet time coming in from the side. Not going to do too much, but dissuade them. Platinum Paladin is looking for a little bit more. He almost gets caught exactly by that combo. Road Drag is here. They don't need that Sivir. They've got the Viking, the Ninja, and the Hextech laser dude.
Man, which is Cyborg.
Cyborg man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really good team fight. We see the Olaf catching out someone again. He's just there, ready, waiting and lying in the bushes, just ready to pounce. Just go ham.
As we can see, though, Cole, now we've got that gold lead, and this is where Staffs Red is still in the lead. Look at that CS lead in that top lane.
Top lane.
4K.
That's 4,000 difference. I mean,
in terms of
is
gold,
that as well as the bot lane there, 1,000 gold of difference too with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very much. That's where Staffs Red have their big power in this top lane. Falcom also is a little bit behind because of course the Fed member on Charles University is this Olaf. But yeah, this is where their power is. With that Renekton, can Kenji do enough to really do anything? Because, like we said, Ragnarok makes the man unstoppable, the Viking.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely insane there. It's also surprising to see on that gold graph that Victor is still ahead of the Orianna. We had a massive CS difference. 5 kill participation to Victor's 1. It's just surprising.
Yeah, I'm unsure how that has happened as we just see a kill on the bot side. Dragon Girl goes down to the Viking once again. Showing up as there is another kill. The turret dive coming in from Staffs Red as they will trade kills across. Support for mid laner.
Yeah, I think obviously it's really good to get this mid lane. But they're both worth the same gold, so that's not really much of a difference. I think it does very much help yourselves to take out the mid laner as more damage, of course. But we see Staffs Red starting up this Baron.
Yeah, they will look towards it. They definitely have the damage with Kenji, and the bullet time is going to come out to dissuade as much as possible, but Shen is taunting. It's on 2k. Watch that health. They're going in aggressively. Kenji takes out the Sivir. Stand United is going to be used on Kokorov. Takta, they're looking for it, but they don't get it, and the Baron goes down. The Olaf drops, and once that Viking has fallen.
Yeah.
Charles University.
He's off to Valhalla.
He is off to Valhalla. Maybe that's where he wants to go, but
I mean, yeah.
not looking good for Charles University
Yeah.
here.
We see a little bit there on the Lulu now, just holding. I mean, it's just really surprising. The fact that at 21 minutes we can have this. The Renekton being fed and the MF being fed. You can take that Baron. It's not slow. It's very good as we jump into the replay here.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to look at, actually, Cole. That bullet time is going to be used to dissuade as much as possible. They're quite low mana. Kenji goes right onto the back line of the Sivir. The Karma Shields from Toribal are doing work here. Stand United doesn't give Olaf enough. And maybe, Cole, you suggested that Gore Drinker earlier. Do you think...
I think in personal use, I would more like the Gore Drinker. I think with the overtoes, you can get the slow, so Stronebreaker maybe not so useful.
Definitely.
We see the Death Stance coming out, so there is a little bit more life steal and life regen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I could have seen the Stridebreaker come out is they have a lot of speed on this side, and they're looking to catch out the Viking once more. He will go in. Wild Growth is used. Toribal gets deleted from existence, but they will trade back over. Kenji has actually opted for a Prowler's Claw now. That's a lethality Renekton. Platinum Paladin picking up 2 from that. In Kenji goes once more. Watch that Renekton. The one-man Shockwave coming through. In goes the Croc.
The flash!
Flashing in. That Croc is unstoppable.
The stopwatch!
But the stopwatch from Gulpin doing work. The Victor survives the encounter. And my guy, the Croc, dies.
I think maybe that's a little bit of an overextension there for the Renekton. I mean, yeah, he gets the Shen, so it is a 3 for 2, and they also get the Drake, but the fact that you jump forward there with your Baron on a top lane, as we see a replay here, it's just a little bit questionable, I think.
I mean,
yes, you pop the Dominus, you make sure you can get as much of the Shen as possible. He does get away. The Flash does come in to get the kill, but you're then 2v1, and I think that's where the misplay comes in.
He doesn't expect the Zonya's call. The Zonya's hourglass.
Yep. As we're sort of coming to a lull state now, again, we'll take time to look at the items. What's coming in again? You mentioned the Prowler's Claw. We've got also a Black Cleaver.
Yeah.
There on the Rex. He's on 3 items to Shen's 1.5, give or take.
Well, we looked at that gold, and we saw most of Staffordshire Red's lead in terms of the gold advantage is all sitting on Kenji.
Yeah, it's all CS. I mean, 102 CS difference.
It's actually 6k.
90,
it's moved
90,
up, my friend.
I mean, the difference has moved up, and he's 90 CS ahead, man. He's 90 CS ahead.
Yeah.
As Shen, you're supposed to sit at the tower and wait for the CS to come in if you're against a Renekton. Any other matchup, sure, you can take that and push up, make sure you can get that CS, but it's not. There's no safety of this.
Yeah, it could look like a little bit of a Flame Horizon happens on that top side, but Charles University do have this Olaf.
Yeah.
This is their power, and they have a late game scaling Sivir. Although she's not really got there yet, she will have more power the longer this goes on.
Ooh.
And Gulpin, my man, the stopwatch does come through. A Shockwave also hits just onto him, but he will fall. The Renekton takes 1. Kikro is now in the Wild Growth as Olaf is moving over there, looking to pick up the Udyr here. Toribal will fall once more. Olaf with the Stand United. This could be massive. Can they get enough across? They cannot. Even the Sivir, Platinum Paladin flashing forward. Flash is out. Shen is going to taunt in. Could have looked for a bit more. Doesn't have the damage to take out enough. And it's a 4 versus 3. Udyr will back off here.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's
he
good
lives on a sliver of health.
I mean, yeah, no objectives. I think 2 for 1. Really good trade. I think the only reason that Toribal there was taken out for Leo got caught inside the base, couldn't get out. And it's just where the play comes from with the Olaf coming in and finding the weak champions on the side of
she
Staff
saved
Red.
his life. Sacrifice.
Yep.
And I think support sacrificing herself for the jungler is a good trade. But
100%.
yeah, this is the power of the Olaf, really. If he could have got a little bit more across, it just didn't come through in the end. But if he'd have had that lifesteal again, Cole, I'm commenting on it, he could have done a little bit more, and maybe he can 1v9 here.
Yeah, and I mean, now we're sort of setting up again for this bot side, waiting for the dragon to come up. So Renekton getting in. He's now a little bit deep because the Olaf is on his tail.
and Shen is a little bit in, but he does have backup down here. We do see Renekton and Kenji getting out of there. Should be alright. Lulu has come across. And a TP is being channeled now. The Dominus has come through. Falcon is right on the back line over here. The Wild Growth using on the Shen. They're looking for more. Kenji is still surviving out here. Using that Dominus and the extra healing. Falcon is still trying to run down Victor here. The Shen doing a lot of work. Platinum Paladin is in the no man's land backline. But he does survive just about. And here is the Olaf. A triple kill picked up for the MF. Olaf is going to try and trade much over. And he does pick up a triple kill himself. Toriable should be able to run this one out. The Undertows are coming through. One hit. The shield isn't going to be enough. We see a ace coming through from the Olaf. The unofficial quadra kill for Takta on the Viking. Valhalla will be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the play there, we didn't get to see all of it, but the fact that this Renekton is such a power pick on Staffordshire Red side, it getting caught out, forcing the team fight where Olaf is present at the start. And then again, at the end with full health, it's just too powerful. I mean, 14 kills right now on that Olaf.
Yeah. He is looking very happy. Odin, is he a Viking god? Am I right?
He's a god of some description.
And it looks like, Falcon, you have found yourself a Viking, my friend. But he will get out. The team are here to support the Udyr. And yeah, Falcon is happy again because he lives.
And I think we're at the stage where we can talk about the team fight of each team. Like we were saying before, the focus of a victor in choke points, which is coming up as Red now taking the river.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing to look at right now is that MF, because I thought Platinum Paladin was a big caught out, just sitting in the middle of everyone, guns blazing with that bullet time. But he does survive, and we are looking for a little bit of a Drake fight here. Are they going to look for more? The poke coming out from Toriable.
And again, this is for Soul Point. Who gets the smite? It's Leo.
And that's a big three-man shockwave into bullet time. Gorgeous plays by Staffs. And that looks like this will be a almost clean ace. It's only Falcon who falls. Beautiful little shockwave into the bullet time combo.
I mean, I think what sets off that fight there is the, obviously, Olaf engage, but he's just not got enough lifesteal and shielding. I mean, obviously, he's got now the Sterex as well. We see a good push in here from Staff's Red.
Just look at this, Cole. They try and contest this great. Takta is caught a little bit in no man's land. There's a three-man shockwave from that Orianna on top of a bullet time. The Chaos Storm ain't going to do enough. Kenji on the backline. My dude, that was a fight.
That is one beautiful fight from an Orianna and an Olaf there. As we were saying, one of the vices to get the ball through to the backline.
Yeah, definitely. It was just boom, 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 and they died, Cole. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, she started blasting.
She did. She started blasting.
As we're now in sort of that prep stage for Staff's Red, taking as much time as they can to clear out, get the blues onto the Orianna, and Renekton to get just that little bit more CS to get towards that full build now.
Yeah, and again, I am gonna highlight Kenji here. Let's say damn big lead.
For sure. I mean, 16-8.
Well, I say damn big lead, but I don't even think that describes it.
No, I don't think that's maybe an understatement.
Yeah, a little bit. Just that gold lead there in that top lane. Definitely being the power pick for Staffs.
Yeah, and I have to say, I think the fact that Olaf is getting all the kills, and, well, yeah, it's maybe set back Charles here, and he's just not been enough of a carry, really, to what we thought he would be.
Yeah, definitely. As Staffordshire University will look to take that inhibitor, but trade in by Kikro tries to get the taunt down. Dominus has come down. Victory's going in on the backline. Chaos Storm, but he does fall. Wild Growth is only used on the Victor. They will get him out. Takta is in on this backline again, warding off anything up here. As Kenji again going on to Siva, we see one. They're just taking down this Olaf. Kenji is 1v3 in the backside. The healing though, Cole, that is the healing we see.
Yeah, so it's obviously enough with the Death Dance there on its own.
That is still a triple kill over to Renekton. Yeah. Orianna is going to ward off the Viking. I don't think be able to kill him, but this should be endgame, my friend.
I think that's what we're pushing for. Olaf is very low, and
he will fall.
Yeah,
the Viking falls. Through. The Viking falls to end the game, Cole. And Kenji, You slice and dice that Nexus. As
Yeah.
Staff's Thread take
Taking
the
the win.
victory.
Very good game there from Kenji. And that's what we like to see. We like to see our top tier players taking the carry, making sure they can win. As we see that beautiful, beautiful victory screen.
I enjoyed that, Cole.
It's a very, very good game of League of Legends. Very close. As we are going to go you back to our beautiful hosts.
Beautiful.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for passing it over, Cole. Really interesting game right there.
Yeah, very interesting game. Did seem to be a big duel between the two big carries of Kenji for Red and Stepan for Charles University.
Yeah, we saw that game was more interesting than what we saw of the Blue and the Finland game, because that was more of a one-sided dominant performance from Blue team. We heard from, we saw on our spectating client that we saw Aurelia going 12, 3-3, Olaf and Ornn going deathless.
Yeah.
But within the Red game, combos going in, really clean performance from their top
Yeah.
side solo laners and their bot lane scaling into the game. I thought it was a beautiful game from Red.
Yeah, absolutely love the game from them.
But we believe we have a couple of VT production to show you before we go into an intermission. Do you want to?
dear rector, dear colleagues, dear students. I am cordially grateful to you for the opportunity to address Charles University's community and all citizens of the Czech Republic and the European Union who support Ukraine in these very challenging times for our country. Your support is exceptionally important for us, and we appreciate that assistance provided by the Czech government to Ukrainian armed forces, Ukrainian economy, and Ukrainian refugees, including our researchers and students who were forced to flee. But even more valuable is the help of ordinary citizens, initiatives of universities, professional associations, NGOs that demonstrate solidarity with our people, encourages confrontation with the aggressor. Ukrainian folk wisdom says, the friendlier people, the stronger they are. The friendship of the great European family gives our people strength in this difficult, unequal struggle. Today, students and staff of Charles University will overcome a symbolic distance of 2,000 kilometers from Kiev to Brussels. Unfortunately, students and teachers of Oles Gonchar Dnipro National University are scattered around the world today. And in our city, up to a dozen of air raid warnings are heard every day. But we believe that next year we will overcome this distance together, you in Prague and we in Dnipro, and a peaceful and modern European city. Your motion warms our hearts. I wish you all successful starts.
Lovely to hear from the university from Ukraine. Obviously, they couldn't attend the event today, but yeah, it's good to hear from them. At least they could participate in just a small way.
Yeah, it was nice to hear about their meaning for togetherness, bridging the gaps between different universities in the EU and wanting to do more collaborations. That's what I got from that message. And it was really good to hear from them. It's a shame they couldn't be here and compete today, but at least there was something there for us to show you.
Well, we do have some highlights from our last game that we showed on stream, so I think we should get into our little highlight reel before we go into the next game.
Dissect some gameplay before we go into the next game. So this was First Blood. This was actually really well played from Red Team, just closing the gap on the Victor with a 4-man roam, getting that early lead for Red Team on the MF, which needs to scale. Really, well played, dissecting an actual mid gank that early into the game, getting the MF ahead.
Yeah, super important to get the MF ahead, but also, more importantly, making sure that the Olaf isn't taking the advantage. We saw in both games, blue side taking the Olaf, and it was just running people down all throughout both games.
Yeah.
And so taking a little bit of the advantage early away from the Olaf, stopping that scaling from snowballing quite so early, very important for them.
Yeah, Olaf being a dominant pick in both games for today. What? Olaf here running down MF Oh no, it was Severe running down.
Yeah,
I couldn't see the effects.
Just a little bit of running down there. Yeah, just really showcasing the strength of Olaf, and really the focal point of that Charles University team is that jungler, and he is being very aggressive about it. Whilst the rest of his team being very facilitator role.
Yeah, the draft definitely was to facilitate the Olaf the most. It was strong in both games, so it might be a potential either 100% pick or completely ban out for game 2, which we'll be moving on to shortly, but we got a couple more replays to show you. Oh, and here we actually have the Staff's Red team. So this will be for game 2. We've got Staff's Red versus Blue, so it's a bit of in-house, They know each other, they're going to play fair against each other or play dirty. We've got Kenji, star performer in the last game. He's going to be someone to look at, as well as, their bot lane, the scaling duo. Who would you say you want to actually look out for? Who wants to perform more in this next game?
It's really going to be on the mid-jungle duo, Leonardo and Lara. That's going to be very important because in the mid lane for Blue, Sarcasm, he's a very strong player, so it's going to be looking to shut him down. And kind of limit what he can do so that Kenji can really take on the carry battle in the later games. Like we saw in that last game, it was really Kenji versus Stepan, and they were just in each other's backlines, and it was just who could take the others down first.
So thinking we could see Kenji versus Sarcasm as a solo lane, both dominant, both could carry their games respectively.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into Staffordshire Blue. Haven't seen them yet on stream, but we have told you a little bit about them. Got Josh in the top lane.
Looking at the replay of the last game,
Yeah.
we definitely saw Cass and Corey
Yeah,
showing their stuff.
Cassie Corey was really showing his stuff, but also Josh in the top lane. He was playing the Ornn, sitting back a little bit and waiting for advantages, but was really dominated that lane. It's just a little bit more patient. As also the bot lane, they played an interesting combination, Swain and Mumu.
Swain and Mumu, double AP bot lane. I've heard from people that have worked with their team before that their support player will pick anything that isn't outright a support, but it shows their skill and how versatile they can be on the Rift.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to tackle them in draft or Red, because I feel like Red has a little bit more of a telegraphed draft and smaller champion pools.
I'm thinking predictions wise. We saw Red against Charles. That was a very close game. Could go either way. But the other game was a stomp. Do you think Blue can copy what they did against the Finnish team?
I think Blue can. It's all about that mid lane matchup. I think I'd take Red. Their comms in that last game that looked very clean. They were communicating really well timed collapses. I think I'd take Red. Just a little inkling though. Blue might give them a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, in my prediction, I think Blue might take it. That solo carry performance, I think, could completely shift the game, throw Red off by surprise. But we are going to be heading into game soon, so I will pass you back to our amazing casting duo.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'm back again with Charles for our next game, the Staffordshire head-to-head, Red versus Blue. Who have you got, Charles?
I've actually got Red.
I think I agree.
I know we've only just seen them play, but I do think Red. I really like the way they played around that top side. I thought Kenji had a very, very good game up on that Renekton. I thought Falcon actually did a lot in that mid lane to really start that early aggression off. I like the way they drafted with the MF, that Karma. There's a lot of poke down there. Really stopped any of that scalability with that Sivir.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Leo very much got that snowball rolling. The fact that Kenji could solo his position in top lane to get that massive 8,000 gold lead nearly at the end there.
It was huge, yeah.
Just on his own. I mean, again, carry, standout performance, and what I think is possibly MVP for that game. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what our stats team and our hostess has said about it.
You've got Red, I assume, Cole.
Like I said, I agree
Brilliant.
with you. I think the momentum is just such a massive factor from winning that game against Charles, knowing that you can beat such a carry performer from that team, to know that there is also another carry performer on Staff's Blue. I think you know how to play against that now. Again, it's in your head quite fresh. We'll see, obviously, how Blue team fared against Kiani at some point, hopefully.
Yeah,
well.
It's going to be a interesting game, and I'm excited to see if they actually change anything from draft, whether they opt for a different sort of style. Because I thought very team fight, sort of heavy MF, Oriana. We saw the combo at the end with the bullet time shockwave combo, worked a treat, completely evaporated them at the Drake, and it's... What do Staff's Blue have up their sleeves?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something we need to think about, definitely. And it's also what they feel for their bans, I think, is going to be a massive part of it. And whether they want to take away that Renekton from Kenji. But we also know...
He plays a lot of other stuff.
Aatrox Jace is definitely up there. He doesn't mind playing the facilitating tank either. I think it's just a very strong role for him.
It definitely is. Kenji is that sort of carry they need in that top side, and it'll be interesting to see what matchup they actually pick for him. I'm unsure what sides they are right now, so that'll also be an interesting thing to look at. Because, draft can depend a lot whether you have that counter pick in that top lane. Because Charles University actually gave that counter pick in the top lane.
And it was very early on as well.
It was an interesting one.
Picks.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah. But I do hope we can see certain bans. I think an MF ban for one. I think maybe the Renekton
Yep.
could be another.
It
But
also is dependent on what you want to switch out, because I think Charles banning that Twitch also forced Paul onto that MF. So
maybe, yeah.
either you ban it out, or you have that counter pick, because I don't think the Severe was there in force to stop her.
Not really. She was just there to offer them some scalability. Where we saw, like you said, we saw the bans of the cat and the rat.
Yep.
Whether that will come out again, it'll be an interesting one to see. I know we haven't exactly seen Staff's Blue play, but we do know a few little bits about them.
Yeah, I mean, just go towards the team. I know that they've got some very good players, and yeah.
Definitely. Well, we've got Sarcasm in that mid lane playing for Staff's Blue, which very solo queue player.
Yep.
They might look to play around him and facilitate that, because he could be that main carry. I believe he is the highest ranked on that team, peaking at about Masters.
Yeah, I have to fully check, but yeah, that
I
sounds about
believe
right.
so.
And like you say, very solo queue orientated player, likes his Yasuo, likes his Yone,
Definitely.
Aurelia as well, one of his more played champions at this point in solo queue.
Any of those champions you're fond of, Cole?
Oh, you know what? You're trying to bring that 1v1 up as, well, it happened. I won. Anyway, we're getting
anyway,
into draft.
Beautiful.
We see the Lulu come straight out there from Staff's Blue. They don't want to see it. And Staff's Red have instantly banned that Yasuo. They know
Yeah.
Sarcasm is such a problem that they don't want that Yasuo at all.
You reckon we're seeing Yasuo, Yone, and Irelia banned?
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it depends. I guess, obviously, we've got Jace coming out again from Blue. Again, focusing Kenji. Such a good player on carry champions.
Yeah, I think you have to. And like we stated, Cole, banning out Sarcasm in this mid lane. Give me a Yasuo, Irelia, Yone ban, thank you.
Yeah, I think I'd like that as well. I also have to say, though, Sarcasm, even though he likes his very specific carries, he doesn't mind playing mages and ADCs in the mid lane as well. It's a very, wide variety of picks.
I'll tell you what's interesting, actually, Cole, because thinking about this, we know Dragon Girl playing mid lane for Staff's Red.
Yeah.
She also plays the Vex, which
Yes.
is very, very good into dash heavy champions. So
Very true.
your stuff like Yone, Yasuo, Irelia, Vex, brilliant into all of them. And oh dearie me, a first pick Yumi.
We've got the cat. Oh, I can't deal with it anymore.
You're
Can
not
we
happy
just
about
remove
that
her from the
cat.
game? League of
And
Legends.
come on, if we've got the cat, give me the rat.
Yeah,
They're
that's
hovering it.
a hover for now. I mean, I would assume Paul very much in favour of taking that, which is one of his main mastery champions.
Yeah.
I am a little surprised about the Udyr ban. I know. Oh, we've actually got a switch up, and the Ashe. This very flexible in the support and the ADC role. We'll have to see where that goes. I mean, my personal preference, it's definitely better in the ADC role. It's always going to be squishy. There's no possible tank variant, so if you're going to have it in the support, I know supports mainly are quite squishy, but it's very easy to get on this Ashe, very immobile, and doesn't really have anything to support the actual ADC.
Yeah, I often find Ashe is a little bit of a weird pick, and you're taking Leona into a Yumi, which is a interesting pick. But we do know that we were talking about Victoria as a Yumi player. She obviously knows the counters.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Both of the supports right now, I think you and Victoria, rather.
Yeah, Torrible, sorry.
Yeah, are very much in for enchanters right now, as we see our Nilla Yumi
Nyla,
coming out
yeah.
as a bot lane.
This is the thing, Cole, about Nyla. How much do you know about her? Are you an expert?
No, I'm not no expert, but I do know that I like it with enchanters. I'm less liking it with the Yumi, more the Taric and the Soraka, just because in general those are very heavy healing, shielding champions that do a lot of it.
Well, the other thing is you get extra experience with Nyla.
Yeah.
And I do in pro play. I will tell you, Yumi has been a very staple pick with her.
Yeah.
But moving on, the Vikings back. Viking
Again,
Raider.
I always like to see this Viking, whether he's part of Kuma Laute or, Pentakill. It's always great to see him on the Rift, as we have our Hecarim. Again, a champion right now.
Very
Did get a little
strong.
bit of nerf, but I think the buffs straight off the bat were very strong and helped him come into this meta, as we have the Viego ban, which I'm a little surprised at because both junglers are already there. So they're either expecting the Olaf to go top as a flex. I think Staff's red right now.
Yeah, no, that would kind of tell that they'd expect that to go up there. But yeah, Olaf seems to be falling into today's meta.
Yes.
As we talk about an overview of our games, Olaf
sure.
could become a pretty staple pick that we might have to watch out for.
And again, it's the only returning champion for the minute.
Yet, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
obviously we have chance to
Mhm.
bring some of the others back.
But we do see Camille also being banned here. So obviously they are trying to ban out some of the matchups that
Kenji.
they don't want to play against Kenji. So yeah.
As we see that effects you've been talking about so
Mhm.
favourably. One very good control mage that will stop the Nilla from dashing in.
I'd like to see here on the side of Staff's Red, probably, I think you've got to go Lissandra. It's not great in the Olaf, but I do think Lissandra should be picked up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a very let's go in comp here from Red side.
Yeah.
The Hecarim, the Leona, the Gwen definitely wants to get on in that back line.
Mhm.
And it's just, let's go forward. Let's take out that
Yeah.
carry. Let's make it really easy for us to get wins in
Well,
team
definitely,
fights.
it is interesting, the Gwen, because I do think, again, we look at top lane blind picks, she is very strong for that kind of blind pickable. Maybe we could see an Ornn on Staff's Blue. It's an Aatrox instead, like I said. Still a very, very good pick into that Gwen.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where they actually go with this comp. As a mid laner for...
Blue here,
yeah, where do you think Cass will go?
I mean, we've seen, obviously, Zoe has not been banned. That's one of the Staff's Red
To
players there,
Kassadin.
but it's a Kassadin. So, again, all 4 champs on that blue team. Obviously, we're not in a poke meta right now, but the fact that you have the teleport for the Kassadin, Aatrox just with his R, the movement speed, and all of his Qs, Olaf running in to get the reset on his every auto attack, and also Nilla with the dash forward and the speed up from Yumi. They want to go in. They want to get on the back line as we have a Kindred hover.
I'll tell you what I actually really like about this casting pick.
Yeah.
Sarcasm knows Dragon Girl. We're good friends and everything. And there is... it looks like we might actually be stuck with that Kindred. I think it is. It's going to be a Kindred mid.
That's
This is
very
an interesting
cool.
pick. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like I was saying about that Kassadin, is the fact that you can't actually draft more AP into Kassadin because he's very good against AP.
Yeah, with that shield.
So you've got to go AD into him. And as we know, control mage player in Dragon Girl, she hasn't got an AD champion really. And so it's the Kindred that's come out. Kindred mid.
I mean, it's not something I've seen very much of, but we know that ADCs can work in the mid lane, and it's just going to be seeing what happens with this Kindred and how many stacks she can get. Obviously, the main people she's going to try and stack off of is the Kassadin and any jungle interaction, but then you have to know when the jungler's coming in, so it's a little bit of a back and forth of who you think. Obviously, we're possible for roams.
But definitely, I think the interesting thing is with Kindred, you've got to get the stacks, like you said, but she's also got to get the camps.
For sure.
So it's going to be an interesting one to see how they manage this.
Yeah. As we are getting information, we have unfortunately come into a pick differential for what we've seen in the draft. So unfortunately, what we've all just been talking about for about 5-10 minutes is out the window. Let's open up this, open up the window and we'll chuck it out. It's gone. We're not thinking about it anymore. It's out of the mind.
Yeah, out of mind, out of sight. But I'm actually now more excited because I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, so we'll have to do a little
So,
bit
you
more analysis at the very start. Luckily, level 1 should be a little bit
Fingers
calmer.
crossed.
We're
Fingers
hoping,
crossed.
for fingers crossed, that it's a little bit calmer so that we can really get a deep dive into what's being picked.
So, it was the. It seems like the issue is on the red team, which was Staff's red.
Yep.
So, their comp before was consisting of stuff like Ashleona, and it had that
Hecarim.
Kindred mid, Hecarim. I still hope we do see the Hecarim because I think Hecarim is strong here, but I don't know about the Kindred mid. I don't know about Ashleona either.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we'll have to wait and see. I would say probably Kindred mid is not the pick that's been gone for. We have been told it's Viego over the Hecarim.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're not going to see it. I think Viego, very odd, I think, at this stage with the swap-in. I mean, obviously, it's not necessarily what the players were thinking they were going to pick, but the fact that we're also not going to have the Leona, which I think is a lot better because we really like Enchanters this patch.
Yeah, but I don't know. I quite like the Leona for the engage, but you've still got Seraphine. That big Encore it could be massive in team fights, and she does offer more AP damage, which is decent. But the big, I believe we've still got that Kindred mid from what I know, and we've got Viego jungle now. So their comp is actually looking a lot better in terms of AP and AD mixes than it was. So that's good to see. I'm pretty happy for them about that.
Yeah, I mean, something to think about with this bot lane, Ashe, Seraphine. What do you think when those two come up? My first thought is, oh my god, I'm not getting anywhere near this wave.
Well, there's going to be a lot of slows coming down.
Yeah, for sure. And very good CC options. Slows are with the fact that we have in the top lane a Gwen.
Yeah. And
it means allows her to get forward, get onto it, use her R as well to slow even more. And yeah.
Well, this is the thing about Ashe and Seraphine as a duo. Seraphine gets a can stun. Well, kind of stun. After on her E. She gets it along, the charm comes along, it'll slow them, and if it's this is why she's really good with Rylai's, because it'll add an extra slow, which means they'll be stunned.
Yep.
So or rooted, I think, one of the two. But basically the Ashe will provide that. You W the volley forward on the Ashe, you roll the Seraphine E along, and you pick up a stun, and you can land all your combos pretty much from there. So
and it continues, and as well with the comps being very let's go forward, let's run at them. Seraphine very good with the Encore if they're in a line.
There are combos to be had in this Staff's red comp, but looking across Staff's blue actually, they've got, in my opinion, a lot of power picks. We've got the Aatrox. We've got the Castin, which is an interesting pick, like I said earlier, into that. Well, he blind picked it and they picked Kindred into it, but yeah, that could become massive in this game. Definitely something that scales particularly well. But yeah, looking at the Aatrox, which I'm very excited to talk about. Very strong champion. Has a lot of very good matchups. I don't think he has a single losing matchup right now.
I think the only possible counter, and it's very slim because Aatrox is just a strong champion, is that Fiora.
Yeah, which neither of our teams right now seem to be playing.
Yeah.
We like a lot of the time with Fioras, you look, they always say Chinese Fiora.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Really, really good.
We also, have that really strong Yuumi pick, one of the power picks for
this bot lane
as well.
Definitely looking powerful. But yeah, I'm looking at this draft and thinking, this could be very exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'm going to side with this time Staff's Blue Cole.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Ashe Seraphine very good into this Olaf. The slows gonna help them keep him away, and make sure that they can stay safe in the backline. Obviously, you also have the cast in the Aatrox you have to look out for as well. So it's something to look out for. We also have other picks that we're going to look out for as well. We think our mid lane is going to be such a big pick, as I think we're very close to getting into game. So, Charles, would you do it for me?
Let's get it into game 2, and can we check out the skins, Cole, please?
Yeah, again, I think it's a very good idea.
Definitely.
We have, Blood Moon, Sentinel, Olaf.
What
I love
do you think
that
about
skin.
that one?
That is one of my favourites. Unfortunately, I don't have it personally.
Oh.
But because, unfortunately, the dosh was not there at the time.
The dosh wasn't there.
No. Unfortunately, we'll move on. We'll move on.
And we actually, Cole, we see the top lane invade.
Ooh.
Will Gwen get caught out?
No. Backing off quite nicely there. As we see there on the mini-map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, they're pinging. They possibly want to go in again. I think it's a very good choice. Checking there for vision. They haven't seen any, so they're like, right, Olaf's going to start this blue side and make sure that he's going bot to stop this Seraphine and Ashe really getting going.
Yeah. And again, looking at some of the runes and summoner spells, Cole. Ignite and TP actually
Finally!
for Kenji.
Finally,
we get to see him maybe snowball this game. I know he was massive last game, but he did play with that TP, lost the flash early. They probably could have done a bit more. But yeah, this is his chance to really go very aggressive up here onto Stolen.
And we also have it in the mid lane on this Kindred. Again, a pick I've not seen very much of, but it could prove me wrong.
Yeah, we are going to have to keep a update on her stacks and marks.
For sure.
That is going to be something big here. As we already see, the poke advantage. Nyla, short range AD carry. She ain't winning this poke war.
Luckily with that Yuumi, she's going to stay reasonably healthy.
Yeah.
But again, like you say, taking a lot of poke, that slows very nice. Got volley and all of the rest of the abilities on this Seraphine. Something I was a little bit surprised about to see in the old item page is the Olaf control ward. It's not one I see myself using or anyone else.
Are you not a massive warding fan? It's a level 2 coming through on this bot lane. Platinum Paladin getting a lot of work done with that lethal tempo. But it should be alright. It should be good down here. The flash forward. The heal comes through. My God, that was close.
Oh, that was so close. And you just see, again, like I was saying, you're not walking up to the wave if you're Nilla.
Interestingly enough, it's actually a decent trade of summoners here for Staff's Blue. But they haven't lost flash on the Nilla. We do see Platinum Paladin has lost his flash, as that is the damage from Aatrox, my friend. The Darkin, a lord himself.
The Blade of the Darkin. We see Viego checking there on vision of Olaf. They now know there's no chance of him being top.
And this is the mark.
Yep.
This is the mark. The first one is on this top skull, which is wonderful for Dragon Girl. But she'll pick it up.
There you go.
Yeah. Be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, the RNG gods seem to be on this Kindred side for the moment.
They were. Yeah, that was nicely done. Picks up her first mark on this Kindred.
Something I am very surprised about is the 100 gold lead we have already. It seems to be mostly in the bot lane.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it is the CS advantage coming out from the Nilla here. Into the
has also gone Cull, which would make sense because every minion, she's already on 20, she gets 20 extra gold.
It's still interesting that she's leading here, but Gwen will be pulled back. Aatrox can't go over aggressive here because of the ignite, but it's interesting to see he's really pulling the strings in this matchup right now.
I would also say at that point he knows that his Olaf's bottom. It's something he doesn't want to trade for, and
definitely. But like we said, we do see Platinum Paladin without that flash.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Corey come bot lane with that Olaf and try and look for something. As Dragon Girl will be backed up by Falcon here.
Yeah. I think I really like this pick here for Kindred. Unfortunately, the mark next is on the Gromp. Olaf is now there. the push is there. Leo has gone back, so they're not going to try and force it. Gwen also being the only one in top. So there was a possibility there. But we know that eventually, depending on how this game goes, it allows for red team to move into the jungle with the rest of it as well.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one, because like you said, they won't pick up that mark. Which is a bit sad, because you want to try and snowball this Kindred as much as possible,
For
I
sure.
feel. Which is why it's very interesting and off meta to come into this mid lane. As the trade goes in, Platinum Paladin doesn't have the flash available. They're looking for more. It looks like Nilla will pick that one up.
Wow.
Down falls the Frost Archer. And yeah, it looks like that'll be that.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it already. The bot lane is going to be where this game's at. And the fact that even though Nilla is short range into this very poke-heavy bot lane,
Yeah.
she can get on and really go for it when she's with that Yuumi.
And we see from this replay that the First Blood does go over to Nilla here. And yeah, just Platinum Paladin overextending without that flash. And
Yeah.
it's definitely a problem there. But First Blood to Staff's Blue.
Yeah, and that's where we come in for about a 600 gold lead. Obviously, we already had the 100 there with
Yeah.
the Nilla, and now an extra 400. But also now seeing the Cole on the Cassian too.
Yeah, Cole on the casting. He's looking to just farm up into that late game. You know, you can't... he is one of those late game scaling
Yeah.
champions, so that's fair enough.
And now, even though with the kill this bot lane has had, that's another mark there for
yeah,
Kindred
another mark
nicely.
for the Kindred.
We see possibly the dragon being taken. Yeah, even though the Nilla got the first blood there, the priority was at the wrong time with the Olaf still top. So red staffs have started up this dragon.
Yeah, and also it's they have the range advantage in this
Yeah.
bot lane, so it's no surprise that they've been able to take priority.
Yeah, nice clean take there. No fights coming out, so we're still only on the one singular blood taken.
Yeah, the one singular blood. It's been a bit of a slower game than the last game, Cole.
Yeah, for sure, for certain.
As we do see Corey on the Olaf coming into this mid lane. Sarcasm will look aggressive. They've got the slow. The Ghost is popped. They might be looking for Dragon Girl here. She has the ult available. There it is. Spirit's Refuge comes down. Should save her enough.
Oh,
If
that's
she takes one,
That's-
takes two.
The
Kindred mid,
outplay!
boys. Kindred
Oh,
mid.
wow.
The outplay. The Lamb's Respite coming in massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a massive play there from the Kindred. We see the double coming out from her.
Yeah.
What a good ultimate. And it's a little bit surprising to see Corey and Sarcasm, well, Corey anyway, step out right at the end there. And what doesn't get the heal.
Yeah, well, the Lamb's Respite comes through. It's a very nicely played double kill there, outplayed by Dragon Girl. And the problem there is you went under that turret, you tried to chase the Kindred, the Ignite was hit, you don't have an Ignite on the Kassadin, you had the Ghost pop by Olaf, but then it was just too late. Dragon Girl picking up herself a double kill, and now they've got themselves a gold advantage.
Yeah, and I mean,
Just about.
there's still 20 CS difference as well, or 15 now. With this too, we see a casting roam for bot, possible dive. The Ashe is very low, the ward is down, and Ashe gets a back away for safety.
Yeah, Torrible will get out as well. It's very well played by her, because she knows that the Casting is roaming down and they can't do much, but Aatrox has popped as the Gwen also follows through. The needles do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and we're not even at the stage where Gwen is doing that damage with the ultimate. So, items you'd expect with the ultimate damage is Riftmaker, Void Staff, making sure she has the pen, the Sork Boots, to be able to cut through any MR that would, decrease the damage.
Definitely. As, again, Cole, we go to this sort of a little bit of a low status there. Again, picking up this mark down here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's picking up those marks, making sure she's going to be strong for this late game.
Yeah, it's very well played. She should actually be on quite a bit now. Dragon Girl has the Kindred, has the Olaf. He is marked right now. So, of course, as we know, Kindred, if she picks that, she picks up a kill on him or an assist, She'll get the mark and get that damage as we see an engage on the bot side. Nilla and the Yumi going in. The final chapter being used. Encore being used for a disengage. But this is where it's at for Staff's Blue. That bot lane, as the Kindred and Viego are on their own. Falcon and Dragon Girl should be able to clean up here as a flash is going to be forced from Nilla.
Yep, I think there the slow on the Kindred was just not quick enough to be able to stop the zoomies from being applied, to be able to let Ra there get away.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's looking very, very good for this bot lane as we do see the Nilla ult combined with the final chapter come through from Yumi. Stunning up Platinum Paladin.
As we see another double kill for this Kindred. Where's that come
Where
from?
the hell did that come from?
It must be this bot lane. Nilla maybe staying just a bit too long without that flash that we saw from the previous play to get away.
Yeah, an overstay from Staff's Blue. And my god, is the Kindred mid pick popping off.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we'll have to see where it goes from here. We saw that Olaf get that 4-1 start in the last game. Not there enough to carry. But we have a different carry at this point, and both junglers for that matter.
Yeah, both junglers haven't really done too much. Olaf has died. Viego just sitting there 0-0-0. All of Staff's Red's kills, though, are on Kindred.
Yeah.
And we said this last time.
100%.
We said when we were looking at Charles University in that last game, all their kills were on that Olaf. And they ended up losing. Olaf tried his hardest. But this is where, if they can spread the kills, maybe it could look a little bit better for them. But right now, that Kindred is fed, and she is the one we're going to have to focus on.
Yeah. And again, to bring up a little bit in this jungle matchup, Leo not having his fun time farming like last game against this Olaf. He's tried the invade on the Raptors, as we see Gwen go in.
Yeah, Gwen going in with that needlework is going to do a little bit as Aatrox will pop his ult as well. And it's pretty much another trade of ults in this top lane.
Yeah, and I mean, that's sort of the resource at the minute, right?
As we do see a beautiful Ash Arrow.
Lovely looking Ash Arrow.
Again, actually, this could look good. Kenji has the Ignite. Can he do much here?
Oh.
Snip, snip, snip. And Aatrox falls.
And that's a really good timing there from the Gwen, because both having TP, the Dragons just come up. We've got 4-man for both sides.
The Encore comes through, catches one, but the Olaf does CC immunity. The Yumi is coming across. They're looking for more. Dragon Girl takes down Olaf. A 3-man Nyla ult. The Lamb's Respite is used to try and protect a few more and peel back. They are peeling back. Kindred flashing away, and they should be able to take down Ra. The Viego resets are now coming in. Sarcasm is trying to escape. Toriable isn't going to fall. They'll pick up a double kill.
And there's the Pinata!
3 kills going over to Kindred. Triple kill.
That's a really extended team fight that I think with Viego just, I mean, happens. It's his forte. He likes it extended, having kills drop every so often to be able to take their form and get the reset city happening. But again, like you said, apart from 1 kill on this Staff's Red side, they're all on Kindred still.
Yeah, it was a 4v4, and we see a massive Nilla ult, and you think, that's it, that's looking good there. But a beautiful Lamb's Respite keeps the few of them alive as they look and kite back for even more. Ra goes a bit too far, gets caught in short range, and this is where Viego resets, and he just picks them up.
Yeah, I mean, it's Reset City, Resident Leo right now.
Yeah, he does come in, but again, all those kills, 8 of those 9 kills are on Kindred.
And that, I think, is just more of a... well, obviously being ahead on this Kindred, we'll have to see if there's a massive... Well, obviously there's the massive what the difference is. Because as an overall, it's about 1,900 or so. It's very close to 2K. So again, we'll just have to see if we can get that up at some point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Lamb and Wolf are ahead in this in the mid lane right now. But yeah, a final chapter is blown down here. Platinum Paladin is forced to flash, and that's about it there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good trade. Ult for flash
Ult
any
for
day.
flash,
a 5-minute cooldown for
wonderful.
will be possibly a 3-minute cooldown as we see the
Yeah,
Kamk from Leo.
Falcon is up on this top side. Aatrox can try and turn this around in the 2v1, but he doesn't have flash. The healing is trying to come through. Falcon is chopping him down with the help of Kenji. Kenji over the wall. Snip, snip, snip once more as Olaf is actually rag and rocking his way up here. Falcon will get the reset with the Aatrox. They are going to kite him out as well.
Lovely play there.
Corey
from the top
falls.
side.
And yeah, looking very good for Staff's Red. I didn't really know if I favoured them, but we did see them last game and they look good.
And like we said just before we saw any drafts or anything from any team, momentum for Staff's Red was just a big factor. Knowing they'd won the first game, Kenji having such a good performance, and here it shows in this play. He's making sure at the start he's staying away to stay alive. You see the Olaf coming after the kill, but Leo just catching up on the Aatrox. Such a strong pick, whoever has it, and comes out with the kill in the end to secure a 2 for none.
Yeah, it does get that Kingslayer down, and that's wonderful.
That's another double kill somewhere.
There has been. It happened with Naylor somewhere. They died. I don't know what happened there. We might find out. Who knows? But yeah, Naylor is here, but she hasn't got the ult, so it must have come from the ult.
I think we're just in a safe state right now. They're just moving around, trying to get back to the lane states they want. So with a little bit of a break,
And again, we're having fights in this bot lane. The Needleworks is used. The Aatrox ult is almost up. Will just come up in time.
My days.
But Rift maker damage.
Where did that come from, Gwen? I hate to see what you look like later in this game.
Where the scissors are doing work against the Darkin.
Yeah, scissors are better than a sword, apparently. There
Yeah.
you go. You heard it here first. Scissors, better than a sword. Don't use it at rock, paper, scissors.
Well, it's an interesting thing when you look at Aatrox. Because I don't know how much you know about the Darkin lore, but it is really cool.
I mean, yeah,
Like
the
weapons
possession
are
of the
empowered with
weapon.
their soul.
Yeah.
Well, Gwen isn't a Darkin, but the scissors as a weapon, beating up Aatrox's soul. But you know,
Yeah.
it's a bit messed up. But
As we have a play here looking for this Nilla and the Pinata of the Yumi, as we're a little bit frozen. So it gives us a chance to look at the items of everyone in game. We've, like we said before, the Rift Maker from this Gwen. Got Divine Sunderer, very common on this Viego. We like to think that the Blade of the Ruin King comes out next for the build. We also have 2 items already on this Kindred at Kraken Slayer and Lord Doms. Again, useful here. I'm not sure who really is going to be building the
And we do come out of that pause and right into a Kingslayer coming through from Falcon. Takes down this Olaf. Corey has not had a good game here. It's been a bit unfortunate. And the Ash Arrow coming in. Platinum Paladin looking for more. They will engage. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow did look alright, but final chapter dissuades them enough.
Yeah, again, final chapter traded there for Viego's soul possession. As we see Nilla going in.
The Nilla ult coming through. Encore on top. Tori and the Seraphine should be able to kite back from this, but Platinum Paladin has fallen. Falcon, can he get those resets down? Kindred also coming in. Dragon Girl, 10-0-1 on that Kindred mid pick. Looking good.
Absolutely cleaning up that fight at the end there of the low health bars of Staffordshire Blue.
Yeah, that, as I can see, is her 7th stack of this game. As we do see Aatrox on the side, they're going to look for Falcon here. Can they pick him up? Cast falls, Sarcasm down, Cassidin down, and Stolen is going to run away on this Aatrox.
Wow.
He does manage to pick up a Falcon, but in the end, Kindred grows ever stronger.
And the only thing I can say is mid-diff.
Mid-diff. It has been a little bit this game.
Yeah, as we see the replay coming in on the Nilla ult there. Nearly catches both. Platinum Paladin just dodging out there again. And we see Viego versus Nilla. Viego can sustain just as much as you.
Yeah, it was a 3v2 actually. I was surprised. I was very surprised they engaged on this, as we will see the Drake being taken here.
Yeah, it's just a very strong part. We saw the kills coming out on Cassidin in the bot lane. And so the easy rotation there to take the dragon that was just about to come up on Soul Point now.
Yeah.
Looking for that Hextech Drake again. Very strong out of what's left. A good slow, like we've been saying. It's able to help kite out from the Olaf, the Aatrox, the Nilla. It's just, again, stacks on stacks of slows.
I was going to comment, actually, Cole, on some of these. We do have the gold, of course, some of these gold leads. And you can see that massive gold lead in the mid lane, which is where we kind of saw it coming out.
4,000.
Yeah, about 3,000 gold, 4,000 gold there. And a bit on the top lane as well. And they will look to engage. This is a very big ult. The final chapter combined does come down, but can they pick up these kills? They do pick up one.
Oh, the charm, though.
Falls, the charm.
And the root.
Encore doing some work. Falquim gets the resets with the Viego. The Kingslayer will chop them down. The sword coming through. Triple kill coming through for Falquim, as he is very happy with himself on this Viego pick.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's very strong, just as a general. Even though we're in this 5 versus 5, it can have that feeling of solo queue in the fact that you want carries from everyone.
And we can see here, Cole, you indicated this ult was absolutely wonderful, combined with the slows coming through from the Seraphine. The Encore did a lot of work to turn around that play again.
And again, just keeping them under the tower. The extra damage from the tower shots there made sure that it was an easy turnaround for Staffordshire Red.
We do see a shutdown come across. Sarcasm actually picks up a kill onto Falcon, which is good for him. He actually picks up 2 there, which is looking very good for this casting now.
Yeah, and especially onto that Gwen, that definitely allows Staffordshire Blue to look around for towers. I mean, yeah, look, Ra's taking it now.
They might look for a little more as Dragon Girl goes forward. She might be a little bit caught out. This is a 4v1 situation for the Fed Kindred. She will fall. Sarcasm picking up a big shutdown onto that Kindred.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit disrespectful here from Dragon Girl to stay up that far, knowing that the tower's about to go down. Maybe a 11-0-1, but against 5 people, when you already have Viego, Lost, and Gwen, it's just not a fight you want to take.
Yeah, and this is what we indicated. Their power picks right now for Staff's Red are this top side, and it was their top side that got caught out in those final few picks. The mid, top, and jungle all got caught out, which is why we've seen a comeback from Staff's Blue here, especially with an interesting build, I have to say, coming out from this Kassadin.
Yeah,
if you have a look here,
yeah,
he's gone for the Frozen Heart. Very strong item in this meta currently. Very strong into both the Viego, Ashe, and Kindred. They're all sort of attack speed based.
Yep.
So even Gwen, to a certain extent, is attack speed based.
For sure.
So very, very big pickup from him there. I do like the rush, actually.
Yeah, and we're sort of coming in now to 2 items by it. The only one looking not so strong with that is Platinum Paladin Paul.
Yeah.
Not there quite yet, but we obviously have PD and Shield both for the Nilla. Just allows her to run through people with as much damage as possible.
Yeah, Platinum Paladin, this bot lane has been a little bit trickier than their last one. I don't exactly think Ashe is a amazing pick, I will admit. So that hasn't helped them too much. But what I've really liked from the side of Ra and Pierre the Deer on that Yuumi is the aggression they've shown. They've really come through, and I thought the aggression they've actually come with has actually won them this lane, and they've played to win this lane, which has been very impressive. As we do see a pick on to Corey, as he will fall on the Viking. Falcrim is still going forward. Well, it looks like another pick goes over. Platinum Paladin picking that one up. Sarcasm is going to have to run on this bot side, but it looks like he could be getting picked up. The needlework does hit, but he will just escape about with his life as Ra and Pierre come across.
Yeah, he did have to flash for that, and a nice variation here from the previous game. Kenji not going too far on that push. We see the Renekton with a flash onto the Shen. He's learnt from his mistakes and he's stayed off. He's made sure that we can take this Drake, no problem. We do have a push from the bottom side of the river, though.
Yeah, they might look for something here. They have the Rift Walk from Castin. They have Nyla ult. They have Yuumi ult. They might look, but no. It goes to Viego, as that's a big final chapter coming in, but Nila has fallen. They'll pick up 2. And yeah, Very well played. Sarcasm has he been spied here in this bush recalling? Yes, he has. He is going to have to perform a runner, as it looks like he is in a bit of a dangerous situation. Will go aggressive, but won't pick much up. Gets shut down by Dragon Girl's Kindred. Looking very, very strong.
Definitely proven me wrong in this situation. Again, going back to the fight, not really sure it's a 2v5 there, why you go back in, but it's the decision that's made, and unfortunately it's not turned out so good.
Yeah, it really didn't, and I think they probably should have just left that one, but that was the sole fight, Cole.
Yeah, they had to try at least something.
Yeah, that was a very, quite an early soul. We didn't have one, I don't think we ended up with soul last game, so, yeah, this is an early soul, which I do like to see. Falcon has played a lot more around these dragons, and especially around the mid lane, which I've liked to see with
yeah, well, especially with the amount of carry performance it has. It's, you know, 200 CS, 13 kills, 4 assists. That's 17 kill participation out of 24.
It's bloody good.
It's absolutely insane. And also the same with Leo as we
and
catch
now
out Ra.
collapse again. It doesn't look good for Ra in this bot side. Pierre will also fall. The Yuumi gets frost archered by the Ashe.
Yeah, and something we didn't mention when we saw this Yuumi is the amount of extra gold when you catch the person holding it solo. It's a pinata of money there, just sitting, waiting to be taken.
Definitely, and I don't know how much I can see as Platinum Paladin is coming in. The Aatrox ult was blown there, but I was going to say I don't know how much I can see of a comeback from Staff's Blue. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very difficult, but we do have the bounties now coming out.
Yeah, the bounty system.
Yeah, something we haven't talked about. It's going to hopefully help this Staff's Blue side come back. We'll see if the split push can come through from an Aatrox possibly, but we've seen that Staff's Red are very good at closing in on anyone that's there solo.
Yeah, I've really liked the way they've actually played as a team. I was very impressed watching them in the first game. Some of their team play was very good. And again, they've come out here. The only one yet to die, by the way, in this game is Toribel on that Seraphine. So give her a little big up there.
And even then, I've been talking about the mid lane carry and the jungle carry and the kill participation. Tori has 19 kill participation.
Yep.
I don't know how I've glossed over that. That's 100% insane and such good performance.
And we do see the Baron has also been taken for Staffordshire Red, so they will now have Baron minions approaching the blue team's base.
Yeah. And that's also another mark for Kindred.
Yeah, she's growing ever and ever stronger. She sort of indefinitely scales with her marks.
For sure.
So she just gets stronger the more she gets, so... Yeah, looking good.
I think the comms are something like, let's 4-1 this, let's make sure we have 4 people together, and then the opposite is Kenji. He's such a good player, he's got the TP for safety and the Gwen Shroud to be able to run away with the E as well.
Yeah.
It's just a very good split push to the 4-man of the rest of the squad.
Yeah, I do like the 4-1, like you commented on, Cole. It's the safest variation. And way of pushing 2 lanes at once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically what they're going to want to do here is crack that base at this point.
For sure. They want to use that Baron, try and get as much of this base open as possible.
We will
to be able to make sure that any next objective, Baron, Elder Dragon, is easily takeable if it comes to it.
Yeah, we will see if that happens here. Their siege, in terms of range, is quite good, as well as they will look for a pick onto Neela. She will fall. Terrible picking one up for herself. Dragon Girl also picking one up as there is a fight on the bot side. Gwen is in a 2v1.
1 versus 2!
1 versus 2. Scissors always wins, Cole. Scissors always wins.
Always wins as we're coming into the final pushes now. Onto the base. It's just Sarcasm. What can he do?
1v5. Cass, can he do it?
Still alive.
He's still alive. He's not going to be able to get much done. And GG, Staff's Red. 2-0.
Such a good game. That's such a strong performance. We obviously don't know what Finland are doing right now in their side of the bracket. It's on another stream. But It's a very good game from both staff teams.
Yeah.
A little bit more one-sided, but again, the possibility for any team to win that there, the whole game.
Definitely.
And yeah, do you have an MVP maybe for that one?
I definitely thought Dragon Girl. I
Lovely.
think that's the easiest one.
Yeah, it makes sense. And now we can shove you back to the casters.
Thank you very much, you two. Really snowbally game off of that Staffordshire Red, picking up 2 wins now.
Yeah,
So
very exciting game. Yeah.
yeah,
Shall we take a look at a couple of those highlights?
yeah, I definitely want to dissect some of those highlights. They're all action packed, especially around Dragon Girl. That performance was insane.
It was incredible.
But yeah, we'll show you some replays now. Actually,
Yeah, starting off in the bot lane.
see, this is the first blood, and you could see maybe they might snowball off of it, but we didn't actually see much of that. Wow, what a highlight reel from that game. Very team fight orientated with a lot of solo carry performances. Looking mostly at the Gwen in that last replay with the 1v2 and Dragon Girl as well with some of those clean out plays.
Well, we did say before the game that the mid jungle was going to be the really impactful spot, and if Red could neutralize sarcasm, and he seemed to do that himself in draft phase, blind picking a Cassidin.
I felt like the casting was a weak pick, but maybe it was something they wanted to try out. Maybe they're just testing the waters a bit, so maybe when they're playing future together, it might be a potential pick.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit like sarcasm was very confident about Dragon Girl's champion pool, and was like, oh, this just counters her entire thing. not realizing that she's obviously going to have something prepared.
Yeah, not expecting an ADC to be played mid because it's quite a niche pick.
Yeah.
We don't usually see that many Kindred mids. But it was the strongest performer in that game. The 1v2 under the tower when she got 6. That was what snowballed the game for her, I want to say. Also the double kill around Rift Herald, and with the mid jungle presence of Viego Kindred somehow working beautifully together, I think that was the driving factor for their victory.
Yeah, you could really see the communication for Red, how they were collapsing really well on whatever Blue tried to start. Though Blue did have a really strong bot lane.
Yes, the Nyla Yumi, definitely just a healing monsters, but they countered it quite well. Early game anti-heal and shutting them down with multiple CC layers. Nyla running the cleanse could cleanse the Ash Arrow, but not the Seraphine Charm, the Viego W. So they had answers to the bot lane, even if they did snowball.
Yeah, it was very impactful. I think we didn't have it in the replays, unfortunately, but the most impactful play was when Dragon Girl went down bot and tower dove Nyla Yumi, getting a double kill.
Getting the shutdown as well.
Getting the massive shutdown and really stopping them from being able to snowball fast enough to combat her. We did see Blue starting to come back with the Cassin starting to get online around level 12, level 13. But yeah, it just wasn't enough. It was just too little, too late.
Yeah, I think the mid pressure was way too high once that Kindred started getting the crit items, getting the Lord Doms. But overall, Red completely sweeping Blue off their feet. Kind of unexpected from me. I thought Blue after their previous game were gonna completely smash it with the Irelia picks, but they didn't have their mid laner on their strong solo carries. They put them on Kassadin, which was unfortunate to see.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit like a swap of styles as well. What we saw from Red in their first game against Charles, they were very passive and just kind of a lot of pressure, but really waiting for things to come to them. Whereas in this game, they were very active. And Blue, in their first game against Finland, just dominated the lanes. And this game, they decided they wanted to scale, sit back, and just wait and scale up and just be confident that they were the better team.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have had word that we are going to be skipping to a commercial break around 10 minutes, so we'll see you in a little bit.
Why are you still recording? It's great having a cameraman that doesn't talk back to you, so there's no communication whatsoever. It's brilliant. What? That is my league. Oh, Oh, so good. It's Kendrick. Okay. So good. It's the best emote ever.
We'll see what I get.
Cool. Thank you.
Have a guess what's gonna be.
Skin. I don't know.
I already own this. Yeah.
Let's go.
League of Legends.
Free orange
Free
essence.
orange essence. Oh, that's all, folks.
That's it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our EU show match today. I hope you are enjoying the games, enjoying the streams, because I know we are.
There have been some banger games.
Coming up, we do have a final, could potentially be our final games of the day. We have our staff's team red versus the Finnish team, and we also have our staff's blue team versus the Charles University team.
Yes, Charles University against Finland, that was off stream, and Charles managed to eke out a win there with a very similar style to what we saw in their first game.
Yeah, very snowbally, I saw.
Yeah, nice, slow, scaling, snowbally comp.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They've bounced back. Can they keep up that momentum against Blue, who are going to probably look to be a bit aggressive this time?
Yeah, so if you haven't been around, Red are on 2 wins, Blue are on 1 win, Charles University is on 1 win, and the Finnish team are unfortunately on no wins. So in the event of a tiebreaker, if Blue team win their game and Red team loses their game, we'll have a finals between those two. But if Red team do win their game, we will crown them as winners.
Yeah, no need for a final when one team has clearly put themselves above the rest.
Yeah, well, Blue and Finland. No, Blue and Charles, sorry.
Yeah.
That's my bad entirely. We saw a strong Blue performance at the start of the day, but that game 2 was a bit weaker into the Reds. Do you think they can carry their momentum forward or bounce back?
I think Blue can bounce back. They have some very skilled players. I feel like they were just a little bit overconfident in that last game, knowing the other players quite so well, and yeah, just confident in their skills that they were a better team. But unfortunately, team play works out over solo queue prowess.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a close one and not an absolute stomp. That would be my preferred one. Or I'm hoping to see a tiebreaker so we can get another game in finals.
We do love a little bit of ties.
Yeah, so Charles University, let's look at them. In this coming matchup, we saw their last game. They drafted quite into the scaling. They drafted the Vlad. That was really strong. Kind of, I don't want to say carried their game, but it was a very dominant performance. Want to see something unique out of the jungler. We mentioned at the start of the day, we saw their match history, talking about the new pick.
Yeah, we do.
I still want to see that. I want to see something
cheese.
crazy.
Yeah.
Something that might, push them forward to win this game.
Yeah, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of spice, something fun. Like this they're not gonna be in the final tiebreaker, so I want them to have fun with this game. Pick things that they're gonna really enjoy playing, and take the game to Blue.
Yeah, I want to see them. I want to see them fight back, because against the first staffs, when they reversed the staffs team at the start of the day, it was a bit of a slow performance. But on the second game, they bounced back. So I'm hoping to see a tense game. But if we look at Staff's Blue here, mid lane performance is something we need to talk about. First game on the Aurelia, 12-3-3, absolute domination. Second game, the Casterden pick.
Yeah, it was a weaker lane, and I think they need that rock in the mid lane to really get the best out of their players. Their bot lane is very strong. Their top lane, he's got a lot of really good matchups. He's got a decent champion pool, and he can play against anyone, really. It's just getting him that right matchup, and yeah, being strong in the mid lane so that you can really unlock your jungler to take on bot lane, take on the top lane, and really get those lanes rolling as well as mid lane.
Yeah, tell them about the jungler. It's Corey in their jungle. First game on when he was playing Olaf, deathless. Second game was still impactful, but not as impactful as the first game. I want to see maybe not picking to counter pick, say, because the casting messed up. I want to see maybe mid jungle working together like they did in the first game, dominate the map, so that maybe they can play through their top side or still have essential carries in the bot lane if they pick, say, Nyla Yumi again. That was incredibly strong.
Yeah, the Olaf pick can be another picking it again. Obviously used to it, played it twice already. And it's just being a heat-seeking missile on that Olaf. That's really what you've got to be. But you have to make sure that you're choosing the right targets, going in to unlock your focal point, and getting those carries in and unlocked and rolling is going to be really important for this game.
So I definitely think the game draft is going to be essential. Getting champions that Castle want. So the flashy solo performers, but also I want to see Charles pick something that's unexpected, but they will have answers for.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna be relying on their team play again. Like they definitely have a style they prefer. It's a bit slower, more scaling. It's just how well can they weather the storm?
Definitely. I just want to see a runaway game. Because in the first game, the Aurelia kind of ran away with the game a bit. I saw them tower diving, even though it was off stream. Saw them tower diving people. Saw the top jungle duo Deathless, which was incredibly well played. All Olaf, just brutal team fighting. But with Charles, with their second game, they were on the back foot at the start, and then they brought into it with the scaling. Do you think they will carry on with that scaling mentality, or do you think they'll actually draft early game to fight off Blue's early game presence?
I feel like they should be going more for an early game, but I think they are going to stick with what's just worked for them. Like they were able to weather the storm last time. They'll be confident that they can do it again. Like they know that their team play and cohesion is better than the other team.
Yeah, well, I've just had word we are ready to send it to our casting duo yet again, and they're going to be prepping for game number 3 of the day.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt. Again, coming into this game, Charles versus Blue, possibly final game of the day. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm really excited again.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Charles versus Blue. We saw Charles in the first game. Didn't look too bad. Had that big Olaf performance by Takta, and I do want to see him really come out here and perform again. Stamps Blue, who we've just seen. It looked a bit iffy with draft and everything. I wasn't overly sure either.
Yeah.
But I do want to see them go again and see if they can bounce back here, Cole.
Yeah, I think everything was generally quite ground level. Foundation was very settled with the draft.
Yeah.
They knew what they wanted to do. It's unfortunate they got counterpicked with the Kindred into the Kassadin. Obviously, where the main gap between the teams formed.
Yeah, I felt that too. That mid lane, bit of a canyon in terms of golden kills.
For sure.
The Kindred outplaying that jungle gank from the Olaf really sent her on her way. And yeah, they are sitting very pretty at the top of the table. But of course, looking at Staff's Blue here, it's sometimes it's about their mentality as well with bouncing back. So it looks like we'll be able to head to draft.
Yep, straight in. Again, we see the bans coming out for the mid. The Yasuo and Aurelia. Very solo queue heavy champions taken out for Cass.
Yeah, definitely. We see Nunu and Olaf both banned on this side. As we saw in that first game, that jungler is that key part for Charles University.
Yeah, and again, we're seeing the information from Cameron taken to heart. Taking out this jungler, making sure he's not on one of his main carries. The Nunu's gone, the Olaf from the first game is gone. And again, I think it's some good banning, and we're not going to see the cat.
You're happy about that?
I'm so happy.
Well, it looks like the Yone is still available, and Vladimir will be picked up for Charles University. Like I said in the first game, we have a Vladimir who's playing on that team in the bot lane, so playing his namesake, he definitely could be something they look at.
Yeah,
I'd be quite interested to see where that actually goes.
I want to also see a possible counter pick early here. I know that Vladimir, very carry champion in the top lane, is something that can be countered.
Definitely.
We're seeing the first time Volley Bear coming out for Stas Blue, a little bit of a flex. Not sure it's play rate or win rate into the Vladimir in the top lane. Something we'll have to look out for.
This is the thing, Cole. We thought about this, and we don't know where exactly that Vladimir is going yet.
Exactly.
So it's going to be really interesting to see. We think that Volley Bear will go jungle, looking for some tower dives there. We saw a big Olaf, not the greatest Olaf performance from Corey in that first game with Staff's Blue, but now in this second game, looking for that Volley Bear, he could look a lot better.
Yeah, and again, a Hover for Misfortune, one of the mainstay AD carries of our games today.
Yeah.
Been played and banned once, and now with possible Hover with this now, it's been locked in. We'll have to see. I think it's a little bit of an odd pick into this Renata because it being a mobile, the R is a little bit easier to hit, and a lot of damage can come out from those autos from
No,
Miss Fortune.
definitely. And now we do see a Janna into the Renata. What are your thoughts on that?
I really like this champion. It's actually, funny enough, one of my let's have a chill game. But we see the Yone come out.
Yone.
This is what we wanted in the last game.
You
the
know.
Yone, the solo carry from the mid lane, your solo queue champ that's going to help you win this game.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about the AP side of this draft. So the possibility of maybe a Gwen top and a Kali top is where we're looking if we need AP because the MF is gone.
Yeah, of course, but you do forget that there is a volley bear, and as much as you think tanky, sort of tanky damage dealer, he does actually have a certain amount of AP damage in his kit.
Yeah.
I think he will still end up going tank and we'll see AP elsewhere, but I am just putting that out there. We could have a full AP volley bear, and that would be a lot of fun.
So we see the Jarvan get taken out here from Staff's Blue. I really like this pick. It stops the activity coming out from the jungler, possibly, possibly the carry as well. It just takes that off the cards for this Charles team.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I am excited to see where they end up going in terms of bans. It looks like we've got a unknown, but a Samira as well.
I think that might be a misban.
It might be a misban. That's slightly unfortunate for Charles University. We'll get confirmation on that, of course. But still banning out Samira, so I'm assuming it would have been another AD carry ban.
Yep. And we see Staff's next blind pick, possibly into... Well, we obviously don't know where this Vladimir's going, but Kog'Maw coming out.
Kog'Maw Renata.
A little bit of an...
Good old Coggy.
Oh, no. Okay, here we go. I've worked it out. It's AP Kog'Maw.
You reckon?
I think we've seen it in LEC. They played that. I saw the damage. It was unbelievable. The man goes off with AP as well as AD.
He definitely does. I am looking forward to seeing this Cog, though. I do like watching Kog'Maw, although it's not the... Renata's a weird support to draft because she's not necessarily an enchanter. I'd have preferred to have seen something maybe like the Lulu. Lulu is still available here. Karma could have been picked up. You want something that will give him that attack speed and shielding. But anyway, we now look at this other side and we have a Maokai pickup.
Yep.
My opinion, Vlad is going mid.
I think you're more than likely right with possible... Well, actually, there's two... If the Gragas is picked here, there's two flexes in this team. The Maokai and the Gragas are either one way or the other in top and bot. And so I believe you're right with the Vladimir going mid and him playing his namesake, if I'm correct.
Well, no, actually, the AD carry is the Vladimir.
Yes.
Is Vladimir. But so that's why I was always interested. But they have drafted the MF, so it's kind of sad.
A lot of sense. So we just have to see what Staff's Blue want for their jungle.
Or top, I reckon.
Yes, or top. Sorry,
You need some Mordekaiser.
Again, two top flexes. And now I'm really confused at where we're going. So we'll have to see when we get in game.
I think we'll see Maokai top, my friend. Gragas in the jungle. The big man, the drunkard in the jungle. We'll have Vladimir in mid, and that's an MF Janna bot. It's an interesting one. I'm not entirely sure if it'll work out for Charles University here, but I've got confidence. They've got a few strong picks in the MF and the Maokai.
Yep, we are sort of finishing off now with the draft as we should up to the host desk.
Wonderful.
We're just going to go and just double check which is going on with that draft. Obviously, there are some technical issues on the side of both teams. We're just going to make sure that the drafts are roughly even. Whilst they are going through that and making sure there's some etiquette around it, it's quite hard to do with one observer on each PC at the moment. Hello, I'm Cam. I'm course director down here at Stoke. And I am joined with Max. You've already met Max a few times today. Right, Max, let's go through some of the things that have gone on today. Obviously... We are on a bit of a lopsided sort of last game. Both teams have won one, lost one. Charles University have a very strong jungler. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, you played against him when we went to Prague.
Yes, I played against him a little bit.
Yeah, he's quite a good jungler. He really is a focal point. And yeah, the important thing for anyone playing against them is to try and shut him down. But he's not in a lane, so you have to try and invade, use lane pressure to try and find out where he is, get all the information you can, so you can get as much information out there as possible. Like, oh, you're about to get ganked by this guy. He's gonna try and kill you. Uh,
Yeah,
be careful.
I think one of the big things that we're going to notice in this is they are playing quite heavily through bot side in terms of Staffordshire University Blue. Ra and Pierre Vidia play a lot together. They're probably the most common players that we have together in this sort of format. And I think one of the things that is going to be really noticeable is how much they have vision control on that bot lane. I think the bot lane has been quite weak from the side of Charles University. They are very much focused towards that top side. So getting that early game pressure on that bot lane was going to be vitally important to Charles University.
Yeah, Charles University, they do need to step up their vision game. Blue, even when they were losing against Red, they were having a few more wards out on the map, getting a little bit more information. Maybe not the right spots, but at least they had those wards out there. Yeah, and I think Charles University is so dependent on their communication, on their synergy, that they kind of forget that they need some wards down because they're all talking so well with each other that it's just
It's keeping that slight bit of vision that you come back to. You obviously jump out of places a lot of the time. We are seeing obviously a lot of enchant at the moment. The meta is very much enchant focused. It means that we have a lot less vision than when we have roaming supports. But one of the things that I think is really, really important at the current moment is the fact that both teams have a very clear style after the first two games. I'm sure that when we go back to the casters in a bit, they'll highlight some of those styles. But one of the things that I wanted to sort of go into in terms of the last sort of things is that dragon control. We saw it in the first game. Staffordshire University Blue, I was obviously doing a lot of observing for it. They absolutely dominated that dragon control. When they went to play against Staffordshire University Red, they had no dragon control, and it really impacted them in the early game. I think if we're going to look at it, we've seen obviously Staff Uni Blue really, really focus on these weird, wacky picks towards the bot lane. Some of these sort of off-meta sort of picks, but with really, really strong champions. We've had the Swain, we've had the Neela, and when we come into this last game, hopefully we'll see another wacky sort of pick go out.
Yeah, the wacky picks in bot lane, they are great fun. I love to see them. But yeah, I think the dragon control is about that mid lane really, because the bot lane, they have their strength. They're able to move up when they want to, but they lost a bit of dragon control due to that mid lane against Red, and they had a very strong mid lane against Finland, or the Finnish team, and were able to really dominate the dragon control. So I think it's really about trying to keep sarcasm ahead and able to move around the map to really unlock everything else they want to do.
And actually looking at the draft that we've gone through, and we can see a little bit from our sort of behind-the-scenes sort of footage, and they actually are the relatively right drafts. So it's actually going to be really good to go over to the analyst desk very shortly, and then we can actually see if they can take this Yone and actually dominate in lane. Obviously, we've got a strong AP balance in this sort of format. Both teams opting for a sort of hyper carry in the mid lane. Vlad can hypercarry. This mid laner is very much a Vlad one trick. We've seen him in the last couple of games really focus playing on that Vlad. But one of the things that we sort of haven't really seen so far is the Maokai into the Mordecai. We've seen Maokai in jungle. It's a really good flex pick at the moment. You can flex anywhere. I've seen a few people play full AP Maokai mid at the moment in solo queue. It's been quite interesting to watch it, but it's such a good versatile flex pick. You know, we may be able to see it really sort of come alive in this top lane. It's obviously going to be a very dominated matchup towards the side of Staff Blue. But
yeah, definitely. I'm very excited to see the Mordekaiser on the other side of that top lane matchup, because Charles has gone for a one threat comp, and Mordekaiser takes one of those threats away, which leaves them with no threats.
Okay, so one last thing from us. Which team do you think is going to win?
I'm going to have to say it's going to be Blue. They have an aggressive comp again, but they also have the late game security with that Cogmore.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Gragas is going to build, if it's going to be a tank Gragas or an AP Gragas. I think because they are so focused on trying to climb through and win the game through their jungle, I think it may be an AP Gragas, and I love a good bit of AP Gragas. Right, straight over now to the casters, and it's over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Cameron. And again, coming into this last game, very excited to see where this one goes. Okay. A little bit of a hiccup there, of course.
It's all
Thank you,
right.
Cameron. I'm here with Charles.
Hello.
We're looking at the draft. Here. What are your original thoughts then?
What are my original thoughts, Cole? Well, I'm glad you asked me, because my original thoughts are, it's looking... I actually really like the comp of Charles University.
Yep.
Matchup-wise, like Cameron was talking about, that Mordekaiser into Maokai. Mordekaiser is a well-known tank shredder, because he will build stuff like the Rylais, which will slow him. He has Conqueror, he has Demonic Embrace, he has a lot of magic max health damage and stuff, like he'll probably even build a Rift Maker. So it's not great for the Maokai, but I do really like the threats they have here. Like we highlighted in that first game with the MF, she was absolutely marvellous, the bullet times. But I think I'd like to see the Gragas build full AP, because that's way more fun to cast
100%.
in general, you know. But yeah, definitely, after seeing Stuffs Blue in that last game, I think I'm actually going to favour Charles University here.
Yeah,
What about
I mean,
you?
I think I have to agree with the hostess here. The possibility of going to late game, even though there is the Vlad, the fact that you'll have more of a tank with both Volibear and the Mordekaiser, both having the ability to shred a little bit. The Volibear also adding anti-stats to whoever he W's is also a very good option for this Volibear. And again, we'll just have to see what this Cogmore builds. It's more than likely, I think, with the build could go either way, really. I guess
It could be.
both carries have also the Yone and the Mordekaiser, so that's both a good split on the AD and AP side. And again, I just think Renata into MF, the immobileness of Misfortune can really be punished by this Renata.
Yeah, well, Cole, I hate to tell you, but I think you're wrong.
Fair enough. No, we're all entitled to wrong opinions, but hey.
Definitely. But basically, my guys over here on Charles University are going to prove it.
Yeah, well, they're your namesake, so I guess that's the reason why.
Well, that's why I'm cheering for them, of course.
Fair enough. We have game ready. We should be going in now and look at the skins too.
Oh, beautiful skins. Beautiful skins.
Yep.
Another reason why I support them. They support this. They love skins.
Yep. I think some really good game coming up then. Here we go. Staffordshire Blue and Charles University for the final game, possibly of the day.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Any interesting runes? Cole, I'm immediately going to tell you that is a AP Gragas, because that is Dark Harvest,
no
my friend.
Yeah, I don't really see much of a change in runes for anyone, really. I think they're very standard. Like you said, Conqueror on Mordekaiser. PTA Volibears come back to fruition. He's less about the phase rush for the extra speed.
Yeah.
And again, Cogmore, lethal tempo, and Guardian on that Renata. I do sometimes like, I think it's the summon area on Renata. Also, but both work, Guardian and the summon area.
Some beautiful skins here as well.
Oh,
like that's the new Renata one.
The new Renata skin.
Yeah, we got the Prestige Volibear as well. Corey obviously spending those Prestige
points. And I
points.
think the best skin there is B-More. Has to be said.
Yeah, like him.
I do like the B skin line. It's very funny.
I do like the way they rename everything. But I was going to say, speaking about Cogmore, actually, he's opted for the Ghost.
Yeah.
Because the Ghost meta is starting to come back in bot lane.
Yeah, well,
enough.
it's the fact that you don't really need to take heal as we're in an Enchanter meta right now.
Ooh.
There's very good sustain there from having those healers in the support role.
Interestingly enough, Cole, I will just mention a little macro play there by the bot side of Charles University. They waited a little bit and did a little fake leash. Could throw
like
things
that sort
off.
of play.
Yeah, no.
It's very, very intuitive and very in the moment thing. As we see, good trades out here from the Mordekaiser. So many M's. Why, League of Legends? Why?
There are a lot of champs begin with M. I'll agree with that.
So yeah, just good trading coming out again from these top laners.
Yeah, definitely. The Janna, though, offers good disengage. The Volley Bear won't get on top of you. The Yone shouldn't be able to. Mordekaiser, you'll be able to keep off. Janna is almost the... she's sort of the epitome of a perfect support, almost, in terms of peel. Those tornadoes, just keeping your MF safe is the name of the game.
For sure. I want to see what Corey could do in this jungle, like we've been saying. Unfortunately, that last game, the tower dive, didn't exactly work. So let's see what sort of effect he can have on this game. He didn't really gank much either after that play. I think he was just ready to play safe at that point. Farm up, just try and be ready for team fights when they arrive.
Yeah, definitely, and we can already see little leads forming in terms of CS, like we were saying. This top lane is going to be a difficult one for Maokai, and in Tata goes in the bot lane. Fatman gets first blood. They're looking for a double kill. Renata didn't even use flash. They'd done so much. Well
I think,
done.
yeah, that's a really good gank. Good set off for first blood. Tactor now coming towards this mid lane. We'll have to see if he's going for that volley bear. Also hovering right now around these scuttle crabs, making sure they get them. And like you said, Janna, really good setup for any gank coming through. Yeah, just a really good ghost there being used by the Cogmore.
And we do see some trades up in the top side. Use the shield.
There it is.
My dear me, right into another kill. And I told you, Mordekaiser coming out on top. That was a very close fight because of Maokai's damage these days.
For sure.
But dear me, both use flash. And the Conqueror healing just coming up enough for Mord here. And stolen.
Yeah. A really good solo kill, and he's already back to dealing damage.
TP is back. More fighting.
Yeah.
Bonk.
I'm just going to bonk.
Bramble smash. Saplings. Twisted advance. He's going all in.
Yeah.
You know.
As well, I would say that the fact that their spot lane's pushing up is a test to they think they know where this Gragas is. As we have a roam from Candy.
We do have a roam from the Janna coming up. Candy coming up, and she will just leave.
Yeah, I mean, didn't hit the skill shot. Not really much else to go off of.
Felt embarrassed. Missed skill shot, felt embarrassed. Left mid.
Well, we'll have to see what happens when she gets back to the bot lane here.
Here she comes.
We're not moving towards this dragon as well through the jungle of red side. Volley Bear clearing out some vision, making sure he's not seeing it if he does start this dragon.
Yeah, it's back into the top side. Some more trading, some more mace strikes, and some more bramble smashes.
Yeah,
just Q's trading. It's the top lane.
Again, thing is, with top lane, when you have someone like a Maokai, if it was into another full tank, obviously Mordekaiser has a lot of AP damage, it would be a wet noodle fight. They've both got reasonable damage, so we're a little bit further ahead. I think we're at wooden sword sort of stage.
Although, we do see Tadka on this bot side once more, but the wave isn't really in the correct position for him to do much here. He is on this bot side. Might actually look to take this Drake, because they do have the prio that they can roam up this bot side. But instead, he will look to...
tower dive, possibly.
Maybe. I think he's just getting vision at this point, as Sarcasm will look to roam down as well.
I think he's waiting in the bush, maybe ready for a fight on that river.
They're just trading
just
Scuttle.
Scuttle.
Scuttle comes in, and Gragas will take it. Looking good.
Getting ready for that dragon there as well. Possibly taking out any vision that Staffs Blue have. Again, Corey coming down for this as well, so we possibly have a big fight on our hands soon.
Yeah, I think the first big fight will happen around this dragon, as level 6s are now in for mid and top, and we will soon see ADs and jungles hit them as well.
Yep, we see a little bit of a difference here in the bot lane with the pickaxe to the two long swords. The boots obviously as well, so a little bit more movement. He's got the ghost up again, still has the flash as it wasn't used before, but we have Tactor coming in for a gank with Volley Bear hovering.
Yeah, we do have the big cask, and he has the flash available. Not going to look for it yet. Just going to back in his bush, but something could be on his Sarcasm. does go down. Gulpin somehow getting a solo kill in that mid lane. The Hemo Plague comes in big and Cass dies.
Wow. And again, could have been even worse if Staffordshire blue side.
It also looks actually, Cole, like there was a little play happening down here as Gragas has, Tacta has blown ult and flash, so they obviously look for something down here. They believe he's still in the area.
Yep, they're still playing. There you go. They spotted him with the Oracle. They know he's there. They don't know that he's backing just yet. They need to check one last time with the Oracle. Maybe it runs out and they don't know in the end anyway. But Dragon's still not taken.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one. I'd have thought we might see some dragons taken, but apparently not yet. They're not ready.
Yeah, Corey pinging it. They're just making sure they can get this wave into the tower. There is that little bit of a CS difference. We've got mid lane Sarcasm coming to help out instead for now. They've pulled it out. They want to make sure that this Gragas can't steal it whatsoever.
Yeah, and I don't think he will because he's currently sitting in his top side jungle.
Yeah.
But commenting about the dragon, it is a Hex Tech again. We've had a lot of Hex Tech.
Yeah, lucky. Well, we had a Hextech Soul, and then from the first game we had Cloud Soul was our soul.
That's a good memory you have because I wouldn't have been able to recall that.
Yeah, well, it's possibly because I'm not 100% sure. I guess it's just one of those drakes, isn't it?
There it is. Yeah, we've had a lot of Hex Tech today though.
Yep. As we will see.
I quite like the Hex Tech Drake because it does give you that extra attack speed. Some more trading going on mid though.
I definitely like it more than the Kamk one. Which is broken.
It's coming back pre-season, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Exciting
Hopefully a little less broken.
Definitely. Because that was no fun to play
that
against.
was very much no fun.
But
especially with the Rengar changes. Very much not my favourite meta.
The Hemo Plague is blown mid. Cass might look for some bit more. In he goes, misses that. Won't be too much else going down. It'd just be a trade of ultimates there. Gulpin is looking better than he did in the first game in here.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong performance. He hasn't had the ganks, I think, as much as well. The Jan has been able to roam a little bit more. Volibear might catch him here.
Yeah, Corey is around, but Vladimir does have the... he has the invisibility. Not invisibility, the...
vulnerability.
Yeah, invulnerability.
Again, we're not looked at the items yet, but we're really looking for components at the moment. So Tiamat, some Berserkers in the mid and bot lane for Staffordshire Blue here. Again, Berserker for the MF as well. Sorcerer Shoes for the penetration on Gragas. Yeah.
This, to me, Cole, is already an interesting build coming through from Cogmore. It looks to be that tankier style, which I'm looking forward to seeing, because it'll be a Titanic Hydra on him, and combined with stuff like...
Runans,
Ginsus could come through, stuff like that. It's going to be attack speed tank with a tank mythic.
Yeah.
Just, we'll have a watch, but trust me.
We'll get there, and I'm sure you're right.
As we do see Gragas come down, but we'll blow up this Cogmore as the bullet time is popped. Renata W will do as much as it can. January's just going to put that healing down. It's looking good for the bot lane at Charles University.
There it is.
2 kills picked up as a trade goes on mid. Hemo Plague is popped again. Not much else will happen. Just a trade of ults once more.
Yeah, and again, Tacta coming out on top with 3 kills here now.
Yeah, we see the hostile takeover was put down early. Gragas comes in. They thought they were going to go in for a 2v2. Ends up for a 3v2. Staffs Blue aren't going to be best pleased with that. They're going to think, why is Gragas here? Please go away. And
For sure. As we see a tower dive coming
tower
out.
dive. Maokai is going to die. It does get the trade across. Tacta comes in. Gets the 1 kill with the big explosive cask onto Corey. And it'll just be a trade. I think we might actually get the 2nd kill come through here. Gets the body slammed down. Oh!
Survives on minimal HP. I would say that maybe even single digit.
Maybe. It's definitely...
at least at one point, I believe it was.
It
when
could
he
have
was
been.
basically just a shield.
Tacta still wants this. He's looking for even more. And he'll pick it up.
Rolling
Rolling the barrel. Cheese rolling it right in there. Take a bow, you drunk man.
Drunk man. You drunk man.
You drunk man.
as we get a fight here in the bot
As
lane.
we do
Cogmore
see the
flashing
flash
forward.
forward from Ra, trying to get a kill on Najana there. Candy will live this one out as the living artillery rains down from above.
Yeah, get a little bit of OW in there, VA fans. Yeah, a good trade coming out there, I think. Very close, obviously, to kill. Unfortunately, not being able to get it. Corey is bot side with a little bit of a roam as well from Sarcasm to see what happens with this next Drake. The gold lead is only 500. For the difference in kills, it's only 500-ish.
Yeah,
No,
it is
600.
right now. And a lot of that, again, is coming from top lane. Like we said, Kikro has had a little bit of a difficult time in his lane matchups. They haven't been the greatest for him. And he's got an outdone on farm. But he does provide a lot of utility.
Yeah.
We saw it in the first game with the Shen, providing those shields, making Olaf practically unkillable at some points. And again, we see a Tacta coming in. Hostile takeover is going to do work, though. Janarol comes out. The Monsoon is going to provide enough. They're just going to get the Herald Splash, but the Cogmore passive makes it a 1-for-1 trade on this bot side.
And a flash out there from Renata.
I don't think
can't
it's
dodge
going to
the
be
barrel.
enough. There's not enough mana on Tacta. I don't think he's going to be able to pick much else up here.
Going back in for the fight for Corey, though, he thinks he can take this.
I reckon he probably could have.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Tactica had no mana, and Corey had Stormbringer available to him.
Here we
Sarcasm
go,
is now
Sarcasm
raving down.
and the ult.
It looks like they'll pick up Tactica. The Yone ult coming through. 1 for Cass, 2 for Cass. Yone is now in the game.
100%, and that just allows him back into the game with the earlier kill. He died solo to the Vladimir. This also allows Staffs Blue to get this dragon, and like Cameron was saying on the host test, that's what they need to be doing. That's what they did very well in the first game against Finnish University, and what they're doing now against the Charles one.
Yeah, it's still a 6-1 Gragas, by the way.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's very strong, no doubt. But we just come back to some farming.
Yeah, some brilliant top lane farming. Stolen having another decent performance. I didn't think he did too bad in the matchup against the Gwen. It was fairly even.
Until
Jungle,
you get to the Gwen Bow Spike when she just wins, which happens.
But yeah, Mordekaiser also he's looking pretty decent up here on the Mord. Got the level advantage, got the gold advantage. And gold's actually an interesting one to look at. A lot of the difference here is in that jungle again between Corey and Tatka. But Tatka does have 6 kills to Corey's 2 assists.
I mean, yeah.
So there's that difference in gold.
There's also the slight difference in CS as well.
Yeah,
Not major,
just a little bit.
but it is there. Helps with that gap too.
Looks like first turret will fall on this bot side, though,
Yep.
Cole.
It's the second one.
Oh,
After
was it?
Mordekaiser took top.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Good
Good point.
Yeah,
Good, that's where a lot of his gold has come from as well,
for sure.
then.
I mean, there is a larger CS difference at that point too.
Yeah. But
Something
like we said.
I noticed a little earlier is Janet in the minus number. Futures Market is a beautiful rune and should be used wherever possible.
It's an interesting one. I don't feel it gets used as much as a lot of the time.
No, and that's
people
where
would
people...
think. And there is the Yono coming in again. They're looking to pick up Candy here. She will fall to the Ignite. Sarcasm picking up a beautiful kill for himself
another
as they will look more. The Hemo Plague is dropped. The pool is there. Vlad has the Ghost. Will Ghost out of this one. As a lot... well, the Yono was used to pick up. Gragas is coming in, looking for a little bit of a trade. The Explosive Cask is up, but I don't think we're going to look for much more.
No, I think that would be ill-advised for this Charles team with 3 versus 2. I mean, MF is now here, so it would be that 3 versus 3, but...
Again, interestingly...
Stuff's have backed off.
Yeah, I was going to comment. Again, interestingly enough, Corey is coming towards this top lane where he's had quite a lot of success with his partner Stolen up here. They've been doing a little bit of a number on poor Gikro up here, and he's really felt it, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. We're in a little bit of a lull state now, so I'm going to take check of what people have got in their shopping carts.
Oh, have a quick look.
Picked up.
Oh,
but we
no,
have
Candy,
Mord.
you're in the death realm. Candy.
Oh,
Jana. That's a sad one. As Maokai will go in, they will look to get a 1-for-1 trade here. Should be able to pick up one more as Cass gets a solo kill onto Gragas.
Oh.
That is a huge little pick right there, and they can't even kill Stolen.
I mean, yeah, there's just not enough damage right now.
There
MF's
isn't.
still only on Noon Quiver.
And it's just a Maokai. Corey's coming in to shepherd away Stolen to help him out. But yeah, Cass getting this solo kill on the Yone in the bot side as the Hemo Plague is popped. He might be able to look for Morris. The trade could come across. The healing comes through. Cass.
What an outplay.
Cass. You might have had a poor game on that casting last game, but you are proving your worth on Yone right now. 5-1.
This is what we wanted to see. The Yone or the Yasuo or the Aurelia. We've got the Yone, and now Cass is saying, here you go.
Welcome to my battleground.
Absolutely. Such a good performance right now, as possibly Janna getting cat.
Oh, come on, Candy. Don't do this again.
Oh, here we go. Getting away, looking for assistance. We'll have to see what Attack can do. Again, having the majority of his team's kills. I think it's a little bit worse on this Gragas as well, because
You'd be
he
surprised.
doesn't have as much sustain. Well, maybe has a good bit of sustain, but
AP
not as Olaf.
AP Gragas, damage-wise, is not something to be disagreed with.
for sure.
And look at that damage. Hostile takeover is going to do some work, but Cass still falls.
950 gold there going over to this Gragas, who is already 3,000 to 4,000 gold up.
Yeah, it's the same as last time we saw Charles University, though.
Yeah.
Their jungler gets kills, yeah, but is he... Can they do anything with that?
Yeah, it needs to definitely be spread out more evenly, I would say. A little bit more like the Staffordshire blue team. Okay, Yone has 5 of the kills, which is a lot, but Maud still has some.
They are going to look for a little bit more. Tactic goes in. The Hemo Plague is also popped. There was a little bit of a miscommunication there from Pierre. Doesn't get across the wall, but it should all be good, and they've got Prio on the strike.
Yeah, Cogmore very low. I'm not 100% sure they want to go for this. Gragas looking for him now.
Yeah, Gragas will look, and he will shut him down as Nature's Grasp comes across, rooting up a lot of that backline. Stolen has taken Candy again. Please leave her alone. She will get out, I think, on that backside. And they've taken 2. She lives. Oh no, she doesn't. She falls. Yone coming up. Cass is coming up huge on his bot side. And those are your 2 strongest members, Staffs Blues. Those are the ones that are doing the work this game. Mordekaiser could fall here. Vlad picks up a 400 gold shutdown for himself, getting that healing. Gragas is up in the air. The knock-up, come on, plant him down. Dragon even helping out.
Wow.
And Charles University come out of that team fight with 2 members remaining.
And that just allows them to take the Dragon. I mean, unfortunately, the Cogmore couldn't be in that fight. It was taken out very early on.
Like you said, that was the big pick here.
Yeah, I mean, you had such a good carry from your mid and top that, well, obviously top being really tanky, and Yone just being able to get in and out with that E. Unfortunately, in the end there, not catching enough damage to take out the Vlad, but a good pick on this MF and the Janna, who couldn't be taken out by that Mordekaiser in the realm.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice back-to-front fight there, really, because they did well to salvage as much as they could Staff's Blues there, because it didn't look like a great start for them, but they actually managed to pull a few kills back before finally capitulating there.
Yeah, as we're getting towards 2-ish items on most of our carries. Vladimir a little bit behind because Rabadon's is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But again, Lichbane, Proto Belt on the Gragas, Rarlize and Riftmaker for Maud.
Again, we will see the Mordor wasn't used. Rodag will still go down with a hostile takeover 3. They might have actually caught out 1, but Tagter finishes up. The Nature's Grasp is coming across on the backside. Sarcasm is now out of this fight completely. Maokai is 1v3 in this backline. Can they give him some support he needs? Cogmore is doing some work.
That's a double knockup.
Huge 2-man knockup as the Hemo Plague comes through onto Volibear. Gulpin is still living. They've still got damage coming through from Gulpin here. How much can he peel? Cogmore is still doing work with the living artillery. He will live on this backside. Gragas is still working with those barrels. But it is just going to be A 1-for-1 somehow.
Wow, that's such a long fight, and to only have 2 kills come out of it. I think something that needs to be stated here is there's no anti-heal for this Vladimir yet. Surely at some point you go, well look, this guy heals infinitely, I'm sure. Where is our anti-heal, and how are we not stopping this already? We're also a little bit of a lull state here. Obviously, Greg's having 10 of the 14 kills. Just a carry performance, I would say.
Yeah, again. Although that Vlad is looking strong. Gulpin is looking good here. But a little bit of magic resistance goes a long way for Staff's Blue.
And there we go. First anti-heal item on the board for both teams. Oblivion Orb on their supports. More than likely, it's going to get hit everyone because spells on these champs, very good, long range, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I would really like to see something as they will look to engage. Renata might be put in the dirt here with that big explosive cask. And it
Janna
hits
might have
her.
overstepped here, though.
She might have, but they still have a lot of disengage with the monsoon. Isn't available, but they still have tornadoes, as we will see a fight on the spot side. Nice pick.
Very good pick there. It's maybe not obviously a major carry, but it definitely, Renata helps in fights, slowing down the attacks of Misfortune on Staff's Blue's side. Carries. We may have a 2v1 here.
Yeah, on this bot side, Mordekaiser takes Kikro into the death realm. Should be able to beat it. The living hell out of him. Does take him down and now has the empowered stats, so they're going to have to back off. Stolen is looking for even more. Might even pick up 2. The Proto Belt is used as well as the Monsoon coming through for Janna. Should keep them alive for now. But well played by Stolen there. Coming out.
That's really good
of a
practice
3v1
here because there's a Baron taken for Staff's Blue as well.
So,
the
yeah.
timing he spent keeping the Gragas down bot gave enough time for Staff's Blue to take this Baron.
Yeah, really well played by the Staff's Blue top laner.
As we see, a little bit of a step forward here from the own. Just trying to get as much of the wave gone as possible.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting one because, like we said again, taking down that Gragas is absolutely massive, as we will go into a replay of this 2v or 3v1 almost down here.
Yeah, just really good control of this fight here from Stolen, making sure he can have that 1v1 at first with the Maokai, getting those major stats that are tanking for him, and obviously having to disengage with that Monsoon, like you said.
Yeah, even the Monsoon had to be used, as we do miss Cass and Janna dying in this fight. Cogmore also went down. It was a 3-for-1 down here.
Wow.
That was a good comeback there by Charles University. I don't really know what happened, but yeah, it looks good for them coming out of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, from what we saw, just a really good clean-up there at the end as well to get the rest of the flyers. This also allows Charles University to move into the jungle, move a little bit further, get some more vision control, as there's only 2 left on this Staff's Blue team here, with Volibear catching Gragas in the river.
Yeah, they're looking for this strike priority, Cole. And I think Corey has done quite a good job this game. Looked a lot better on this Volibear than he did on the Olaf last game against Staff's Red.
100%.
But yeah, it's a definite improvement from him, and he's looking to really solidify his objective game here as they do look for this dragon. This is where I think we might see a big fight.
We've seen the TP in from the Mordekaiser. It's going down very quickly. Charles University looking for that mid-push to get priority and getting that first tower.
Nature's Grasp is also being used. The barrel comes out of nowhere. It was just left on the ground. I don't know where that came from, as Mordekaiser will take Gragas to the death realm. So he's down. Sarcasm is right on the back line.
There we go, Corey.
Stormbringer comes through. Corey picks up his first kill of the game. Sarcasm is cleaning up on this backside. You know, Charles University got the Drake. Staff's Blue take the fight.
Yeah, so 30-second to 20-second death time, as Maokai there at 40 as well. We haven't got a massive push just yet, but let's go back to the fight.
Yeah, and as you can see, I don't exactly know which barrel takes it, but it was massively well played from Gragas. The burst damage from both barrels does absolute work. Takes the dragon, but they lose the fight, so is it worth it in the end?
We're not sure. I mean,
No.
the fact that now they're taking tier 3 towers, 2 in the bot lane, and possibly inhibitors with 3 in the mid lane as well, it's a good company to push with. You obviously want Sarcasm to have safety with the Volley Bear, and yeah, just coming in now with a little bit of a walk away. They get the one inhib, and they back. They get two inhibs, sorry, and back off.
Yeah, and now is where it gets a lot harder for Charles University. I wouldn't say their wave clear is the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, they're relying a lot on the MF here to do that wave clearing, for sure.
Yeah, that is where their wave clear will really come in. This is still an AP Gragas, so we will do some work with his AoE, but it can be hard to clear those 2 lanes of super minions now, Cole.
Tactor's going for a search here in a Safari, and he's found a Sarcasm.
He has, but I don't think you're going to be able to one-shot that Yone as much as you are a full IEP fat man. He's still looking for him over
He's
here.
really going for it. The bus is taking him on a massive tour.
And he is going to try and do a little bit. Misses the ult, but yeah. Blast Cone, OP, what can you say?
I mean, I love a good blast cone exit.
You like a Blast Cone.
Especially when, like before, when Mordecai's got away on that sliver of HP. I love them. I love
And
them.
as you can see, Cole, referring you back to the Cogmore build I was talking about earlier,
Yes.
it won't be the tank mythic. It looks like it'll be Riftmaker, as there is a collapse on the top lane.
Ooh.
Stolen is now taking Vladimir to the Death Realm. They should be able to pick up this Mordekaiser here.
That's a
Shouldn't be able
really
to do
good
too
ghost.
much. Down their Revenant falls as they are going to look for a little bit more. Hemo Plague is popped. That's a big bullet time. Nice flash, but it's flashing to his death as they're looking for the trades off. That was big play. Kongmo actually taking down one more. Corey is going in. The jungler is still alive over here. Cass isn't even in this fight yet. You ain't killing the tree, my friends. He's still there. Corey trying to do as much as possible.
I don't think Corey's going to kill anyone else
He
because
won't
they've
be
all
able to get much
got
done.
too much healing. And like
Too
I've been
much
saying,
healing, too
but
tanky.
Cass, what can he do?
Cass can't do enough is what he can do.
Wow. I'm not really sure what the thought there was with the Mordekaiser. He's obviously seen that Tactor has gone into the red side jungle of Stash Blue, and he's pushed up to the tier 2/3 on his own. So
Yeah.
a little bit questionable, I think.
It's an interesting one. The flash forwards by Ra was a little bit questionable in my opinion. He might have been better flashing more defensively towards Renata, but
Possibly.
you know, once you've made your choice of flash, you can't really go back.
No, exactly. And then obviously there's just a clean up here on Corey to finish
Yeah,
the
and
fight.
just look at that Maokai. One tanky ass tree.
I mean, yeah, he's there just to stop the own, to be honest, and the volley bear making sure neither of them do damage. That's a lot of damage on Stolen.
Stolen is in a little bit of trouble again, although does have that damage. Gragas should be able to kill him down, but Gragas is now Tactor. My man, you are a dead fat man as the drunkard falls.
As we get that kill, that allows Staffordshire here to go for the Baron.
Yeah, this should be a real catalyst for them. They're 8k off, as you can see on the gold lead at the top.
100%.
So they should be able to go here. Sarcasm even adapting this build again to include a Spirit Visage, which is will be very good against both Vladimir and Gragas.
100%. And Yone also picking up that Spirit Visage, also allowing him to do a lot more healing at this point as well.
Yeah.
Nice little buff there too.
And shielding.
Yeah.
Shields more on shield bow.
Yeah.
So
100%.
all in all, good pickup.
Yep. As he's just farming up the Krogs there, getting ready for the next dragon. They don't want this one stolen. Again, but they're not pulling. Okay, they are pulling it out. And making
Yeah,
sure
they will
there's
pull it out,
distance.
and it's a Ocean Soul goal.
It is a nicer soul than the Mountain and Cloud. Good bit of healing again. Again, I'm harping on about the healing, but we've got anti-heal now, so even though it will happen, it might not happen as much. Gragas looking for a 1 versus 4 battle here.
Tactor could be looking for a big combo here. The Tornado will just get him to safety as well. So yeah, he's pretty happy, chilling. He has his full combo up. He could delete someone, and he's on the flank.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, this is
two,
we're going
1,
for
2.
an ending push
1,
here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, beautiful casket. Gets the Cogmore back in the MF, but the turnaround, Sarcasm with the Yono.
So much damage.
So much damage onto the backline. a beautiful hostile takeover by Pierre the Deer. And it looks like Staff's University Blue will clean up this game and take a 2-1.
Yeah, so we're coming in now, clearing up, and that's it. Tactor is taken out now.
Beautiful, Cole. And we will see Staff's University Blue beat Charles University and be very pleased with themselves with that performance.
Just have to check in on the other scores, but now we have some replays.
Wonderful.
I was playing Gwen. Yeah. This is.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the host desk where we witnessed that beautiful game, bit back and forth. We hope you enjoyed it. We are joined by Staff's Red Team's Kenji. How are you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm feeling great. It was just a clean 3-0, I guess. Like,
Clean 3-0.
Yeah.
Well, we will look at the standings now without spoilers. So as we can see, once it loads, gives it a bit of time. We do have Staffs Uni Red 3-0. Quite clean, pretty clean games, not much back and forth. Second place, we have Staffs Uni Blue, so top 2 for Staffs Uni, that's not too bad. Third is Charles University, and fourth is Kiani University, 0-3 unfortunately. What was your most enjoyable game out of the 3?
Definitely the second game. I feel like we had really creative picks, like the Kindred mid into Custodon, for example. I feel like we're just always on the same page, like for all the games. Like we know what we want to pick, we know what we want to play, we know how to coordinate like certain plays. We always call for the junglers, so for the jungler, not junglers. Pretty good.
Yeah. But who do you think was your toughest matchup?
Toughest matchup. Honestly, probably the second team still. I think even though it looked one-sided, it was still pretty close at some points. Also, actually, I would say the first game. Actually, now think about it. First game was pretty close.
You were an acting game.
The next game was pretty close. Yeah. We had certain moments where we got picked randomly, and then the game was like kind of back and forth. So.
But 3-0 in is this usually used to play in events?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, yeah. I mean, it just depends on the strength of the teams and like. To be fair, we haven't played with each other either, so we were just trying to find synergy and whatnot.
Oh, that's interesting. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah. Well done on the 3-0 as well. We will, unfortunately, be ending our stream for today, but before we leave, we'll show you a small interview, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome. This is a pre-recording sort of video before we go into it. Welcome. This is ahead of our match between Charles University, Staffordshire University match, ahead of the European Week of Sport for the President of the Czech Republic. I hope if anyone's watching from the Czech Republic, welcome. This is our studio at Staffordshire University. Today I'm joined by Luke, who came with me to Prague a couple of months ago, and Ollie, who's one of our players. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about some of the things that we see in terms of the importance between sport and esports, in terms of some key areas, but we're also going to talk a little bit about League of Legends as well, and sort of where we see sort of some of the areas within the meta. So Luke, if you were the person who was at the event in Czech Republic with me, how can you see that sport and esports can work better together?
I mean, firstly, I think one huge aspect is reaction times. There's a lot of different activities you can do in sports that correlate to esports, which can help improve reaction times. As we know, games, I mean, not necessarily Legends, but also FPS, reaction times are extremely important as it can be the difference between life and death. And I think some of the tests that were done over there, like the ruler drop test that occurred, helped people understand where their reaction speeds are and, you know, needing to improve or not needing to improve. Because we had, I think it was Ruckus who literally got it on 0 seconds on his first or second try, which was absolutely amazing because of the way that they did it, they simply had someone just drop a ruler at different intervals, and you had to pretty much just grab it. And yeah, Ruckus literally got it on 0. So
yeah, I think that was 2 or 3 times out of like the 3, wasn't it? He got it on 0.
Yeah,
and it was one of the very few tests that we were actually better than.
Yes,
I'm sure that they'll find that very hilarious when they watch this. But yeah, Ollie, someone who plays quite to a high level in quite a few games actually. Where do you see sort of sports involvement within esports?
I'm mainly focused on like the psychological aspect of sports and esports. There's a lot of sports research that's been done in terms of like keeping players' mental health in a good state and keeping them motivated, aligning motivating factors between a player and an organisation. So if one player wants to be the best at what they do, how can an organisation support that and also reach their own goals at the same time? And I think from looking at football as obviously the biggest prime example of sport that we can learn from is that they do a fantastic job of obviously bringing young players into an academy, training them up and then bringing them into a professional league like the Premier League. So taking these kind of factors from that and like how they motivate players to play better and train on a regular basis, but also keep them healthy, is the main takeaways and what you can take towards esports and kind of improve the esports scene.
Yeah, I think the psychological things are very important. I would say some of the psychological in-depth areas in terms of communication, understanding, as well as understanding cultural dynamics in terms of team building is obviously very important. It's what I'm talking about in building teams a lot, right? But I think one of the things that I got from that experience in terms of my own sort of looking at it from when I used to be a same professional rugby player and some of the things I went through it was the fact that esports athletes or esports participants a lot of the time are not taking good use of their body and the health around it and the sort of the nutritional aspects as well. So when we went against some very good sports people, we did look very out of shape, and I hope that you could probably see that I've lost a bit of weight since then, and a few of my colleagues have also lost a bit of weight, and we've taken it on board in terms of that. So from my perspective, I think there should be some quite interesting links between like the physical development and helping those mental sort of ideologies behind it and helping that psychological development. Right, let's talk a little bit about League of Legends at the moment. So we're going through the European Masters at the moment. X7 got knocked out last night, so if you want to know when that was, I'm a little bit sad inside from dealing with that. Big support of X7 at the moment. But one of the things that I want to sort of talk about is the current state of the meta. So we are in a bit of an interesting one. We are actually using our best teams this time instead of when we went over to the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And then they had me playing top lane, and I cried a lot after it. But we should be seeing quite a more standardized approach, I would say, in terms of play. We've got some good players across the board. Let's talk about the meta and where are we sort of looking at in terms of where are the key touch points, Ollie?
Okay, so in terms of the meta, it's very much an ADC and mid meta at the moment. Mid has moved slightly back out of a supportive role and more into a secondary carry role. AD carry obviously has been emphasized as being the most important role at the moment. As well as the fact that these hyper carries such as Sivir and Zeri, most of their counter picks currently in the likes of Nami Lucian. Currently, Nami's been nerfed basically into the ground by removing the electrocute on her E. You've got Draven, who's had an AD ratio nerf, and you've had Kalista, who's had a AD ratio nerf. So all of the natural counters to these scaling champions have all been taken out. Neela Yumi becomes stronger in the meta because these early pressured AD carries aren't as potent. You can often trade them out now. Sivir, obviously very strong, did take a nerf herself, but that was towards her early game. Late game, she's still an absolute monster. Jinx and Aphelios probably going to come back into the meta. Kai'Sa is probably the one AD that you can kind of look at to the early to mid game champs if you do want this kind of high pressure gameplay. Mid lane, Azir, been nerfed obviously, but still ridiculous. You've got the likes of Orianna, Victor, Vex has come back in, Ahri's always very strong. So you've got these kind of two very carry-centric lanes, and the other lanes are very much there to support them. We've seen a lot more Renekton come out, especially in the LCK and the LPL. Renekton being a super ridiculous early game champion, falls off after 15 minutes, but he's there to draw pressure away from your Jinx, from your Zeri, and from your Victor, so they actually have time, and the jungle's just dead. Jungle's a dead role now.
So jungle's a very much facilitating role at the moment. One of the roles that obviously is very close to my heart is the support role. At the moment, I'm a roaming support player, love a little bit of Bard. At the moment, it's not a matter of thing at all, is it? Roaming support is kind of dead at the moment. It's all about enchanters. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see quite a lot of enchanters in the next couple of games that we'll be talking about. But our supports are actually quite versatile in terms of their picks, in terms of both Victoria and as well as Ewart. So both from Staffordshire University London students, our two supports we've picked up. One of them is a Yumi one trick, a little bit. Go on. You play with both of these, Ollie. So do you want to go into a little bit about both of these players?
Yeah, so we've got Tori, who is obviously the slightly higher ranked player. She plays almost exclusively Yumi in ranked. She does have a reasonably versatile enchanter champion pool. She plays Lulu, Karma, Yumi. Never give her Leona because she can't play Leona. She'll tell you that in a heartbeat. But yeah, she is definitely more enchanter centric, whereas Pierre, on the other hand, or Ewart, has moved more onto the enchanter role purely because it's on meta. He mainly played Nautilus, Leona. He still plays a lot of Amumu when I play with him.
My
but
kind of guy.
I've forced him also now to learn Yumi because it's so good with Neela, and he plays Renata now, and he plays Lulu on the odd occasion. I forced him to, but he doesn't like it. So yeah, we've got a good range of both enchanters and engage. Ewart is definitely more flexible, but Tori obviously has the higher rank, plays a lot more on a regular basis, so she's got a lot more experience in the game, so she will probably understand how the meta flows and the pacing of the game slightly better than Ewart. But like I said, Ewart definitely has an ocean. He doesn't have a puddle. He's got an ocean of a
He
pool.
does have a very much an ocean. Luke, because obviously League isn't your game, but you were obviously there whilst we got absolutely annihilated. Obviously you would have seen some of their players in terms of their skill and their sort of skill cap in terms of it. One of the players I really want to focus on was their mid laner. I cannot remember his name for the life of me at the moment, but obviously he absolutely wiped the floor with us. So if we had someone who was focused, like one hyper carry sort of focus person, how would you remove him from the game?
Right, okay, so if we're talking, so for me, my personal game is sort of Valorant, and if there's one key agent on the other team, I don't know, this could be either their star duelist player, this being Jet or Neon, for example, and they're always pushing in, they're always, you know, getting frags, being that engaging aspect. I'm personally a controller main, and that's someone who does smokes, someone who, as an Astra main, uses pull, stun to prevent pushes, and Astra's quite a good agent.
I'm also an Astra main. I love Astra so
Astra's
much.
Good.
Yeah, she's good.
Good, nice.
Killjoy
is good as well. Definitely at holding down a certain
exactly.
maps. But yeah, as an Astra, very versatile. I can pretty much play it anywhere because of the radius of being able to put stars down. And say if you can combine like certain agents with Astra. Astra and Raze is really good. You can pull through a Raze nade, kill someone backside and bind B site. But if I'm trying to instigate that one star player and trying to remove them from the picture straight away, I'd understand where they're playing on certain sites after a couple of rounds. I'll try and pull, I'll try and stun, and allow my star player on my team, whether that be my own Jet, push in, get the kill, and then take site, basically. So it's all about Valorant. I mean, it's the same with League. Team play is very important, and if it's the one star player that you're trying to eliminate, Valorant does have the agents to allow you to work together to remove that person.
And I think it's good that we talk about other games as well, because obviously Charles University is entering sort of this esports ecosystem, and obviously League is something they have quite a little bit of knowledge on now, and like FIFA, but we haven't really talked about Valorant quite a lot. From that sort of perspective as well, it just reminds me about last night when me and you were playing the game, Ollie. In terms of that Caitlyn that we just bullied into the ground, and sort of focusing down one person who could really scale off, and taking that initiative as a team to work around that communication. This situation, I know you're going to be playing both as a facilitating role as top, as well as being playing as that carry role. So how is your mentality going to change between the two?
Well, I've currently said that I'm just going to ego the game anyway, so I'm probably going to play a carry champ regardless of what role I play. But no, I've played over the years. I've swapped roles. I've hit high diamond, if not masters, on most roles that I've played. So I'm kind of confident that I can change my playstyle as and when needed. 2 years ago, I was a Maokai one trick, who literally is a tree who just stands around healing himself, basically, just being a pain. He's very much a facilitator. So I've definitely played a lot of that kind of role. As a lot of people will know, when I play properly, I'm a macro player, not a micro player. So I prefer to manage the game state and manage how the waves come in and out of the way, and give your team timings to roam and make plays, as opposed to just being a mechanically superior player. So that's kind of how I climb through the ranks, and I think that gives me a lot more flexibility to actually change how I play, because it allows you to scale up nicely. It also allows you to create pressure 2 minutes into the game, depending on how you want the lanes to play out.
I think one of the things that we will see a lot more from the games that we played when we were in the Czech Republic to the games here will be that sort of macro play a lot more in terms of lane management will be obviously a key area of that. Something that I really struggle with. I just push the wave in and just run because I like to run around the map. Whilst I know when we especially if we look in terms of the matchup in towards the top side, a lot more of the time it's about those minute leads, right? And making use of those advantages, and looking at those power spikes. And when we come to actually casting these games, we'll be going into a lot of detail about that. And I'm hoping that later on, when we are in the live show of it, we'll have Ollie come and join us and talk to us about some of the breakdowns in those areas.
Definitely, I can do that.
One of the other things that I wanted to sort of touch on before we sort of round this part out of the session and then go on to sort of the live areas which will come up ahead of this, so I'll be wearing a different shirt. It'll be very confusing, I'm sure. I may even shave my beard by then, but I highly doubt that. Is sort of go into sort of the prediction. So obviously we're definitely playing against Charles University. We may be playing against another university. We may have 2 teams. We may have 1. How do you feel your chances are against anyone at the
as
moment?
long as I'm playing as 2-0 every
2-0?
time.
2-0?
Yeah. Right, they have 1 challenger mid laner, and I promise you I'll be in your lane more than our mid laner. Like, I will not leave you alone.
He's not lying. He's very possessive over rank.
Yeah, I will.
I'll Luke, as a complete outsider, how do you think our chances are, considering you've watched these guys play?
They play good as a team. Obviously, the rank diversity is a bit different this time. We've got really good players going into this.
Yep.
So I'm not necessarily going to go to a 2-0 because I'm sure on our side there's people who haven't played together before. So it's
we've
more
been
of
practicing every single night.
Have you? Well, as a whole
three
team,
of us. Three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a whole, you haven't fully played, and you can carry each other. I understand that, but it's there might be a slack off here and there from maybe one of your players or whatnot. So I'm going to go over 2-1 to us.
Okay, to us. As long as it's to us, I'm happy with that. If you said 2-1 to Charles University,
no.
I was about to get up and walk off.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm confident in our team's level and rank now. So.
I'm not confirming that these guys are going to be here because I still haven't got the email confirmed a bit, but we could be playing against Kenyani as well. Kenyani University of Applied Sciences, where Harry's gone off to actually. One of our students is currently over there, Harry Walsh. They obviously have an esports course. They were the first one in Finland to be created. I don't know if they are still the only one over there, but that could be a bit more of a challenge, I would say, because the joys of esports, a lot of the time we obviously attract quite high ranked players a lot of the time, and obviously they've obviously got the infrastructure over there as well to facilitate this. And their course is very much focused on performance a little bit more in terms of that than our one is performed by production. So if we're playing against them, and I know some of their ranks are probably a bit more evenly matched to ours a little bit in terms of that, how do you think you're going to do against that, Ollie? And do not say 2-0.
Well, what do you want me to say? I'm an ego player.
Ego player. 2-0. Okay.
We finished. You got to remember that, right? So in NSC summer season, we played, and we went like the first week we had a bad week because 2 of our players were sick, and we had some subs in. We went 9-0 for the next 3 weeks, and then we lost in playoffs to a challenger. So 1 challenger, 1 grandmaster, 3 masters team, and we only just lost that game. So I'm very confident in my and Ewart's ability to play bot lane. I'm very confident in my top laner's ability to play top. So it's just getting to learn our mid and jungle. If we can work as a team and maybe get some games in before, then I'm pretty confident we'll run away with it.
Yeah. I'm confident in your ability to carry. You've been carrying me the last night, so I'm not going to complain about that. I think from my perspective, the meta suits us at the moment. I think we've got a very strong mid lane. Cath is very good, and I also know that our bot lane is very strong with all the rotation. So at the moment, we've obviously got 1 team together to play against Charles University. If we have to split that team in half, both our teams are very strong. They're pretty much evenly matched. I haven't got any person that I would say is a weak link on the team on either side. We do have another top laner to go and replace it if we have to have 2 teams. He's a grandmaster player, so it's not like I'm looking to drop anyone who's add anyone who's not very good. Like I said, I'm a very competitive person, as you guys both know here, and I hope that we have highlighted the fact that we are here to play and we're here to win. If we lose, you can see it's all on Ollie.
I'll drop out of uni if we lose.
Oh no! You can't. You've got to write that paper, I've told you. So just if you want to follow us or anything, my name is Cameron Van Loo, at Van Loo Cameron. Luke?
I'm Luke Seagroove. Yeah.
You have Twitter?
Yeah, I do, but it's just a bunch of random letters, really. So it's like
bunch of random letters. Okay, and
I'm Ollie, and my gamer handle is Ra, and you'll see my Twitter come up right here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right here. All the Twitters are right there, right? Okay, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you live on the Rift very shortly.